All right, we are here for session 4 of Curse of Strahd. I am joined by 4 of my 6 players. Come on, John. I am disappointed that you did not interrupt me as I was starting the recording. You can be well behaved. I like it.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
I'm always a perfect player.
Yes, we are down 2 players tonight. We Andre, who plays Zadara, the Drow thief, is unfortunately unable to make it, and Harry, who plays Renard, the sorcerer and follower of Talos, is unable to make it as well. So we are playing with just 4 of our players, and we're going to jump right into this, and I'm going to allow them to introduce who they are playing, and then we'll do a quick little recap, and then we'll get going. We'll get right into this. See what kind of trouble you guys can get yourselves into today. You set the bar high after last session. So, Charlie, why don't you introduce who you're playing today?
I'm George. I'm a Goliath fighter. And that's about it.
It is rude not to introduce your brother. So if you could do that as well.
And I'm gonna hand off. Oh, you mean Pilfer?
Yes.
Pilfer's hiding in a back.
Wow.
Pilford is being shy right now.
Pilford's pissed that his brother forgot about him is what the problem is, and he's sitting there stewing in his nice little pouch that he has around the collar of your tunic. He's like, I don't believe he forgot me. Out of sight, out of mind, I guess, huh? Anyway, thank you, Charlie. My next player is Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol. I'm playing Callista. Callista is she's a wood elf, and she's a rogue.
And she likes to steal from her party mates. Thank you, Carol.
She was raised in the city. She was poor.
She had to survive on the streets, and I understand that. Unfortunately, the players that you play with, Carol, do not. But we will move on to the next one. John, who are you playing?
My name is John. I'm Master of Flowers everywhere. You can not find me because I don't do anything. I am playing Zarg of Talos, and Zarg is a servant of Talos, who he loves more than anything. Maybe his brother Alon he loves more, but that's for a different story that the players do not know. So, excellent. I'm hinting at it because it might come up.
Love it. And last but certainly not least, Brian, why don't you let everyone know who you'll be playing?
I am playing Verna, the Barbarian, and he is a mean gray fighting machine.
I just want to say, Brian, if you voice Vernak with that voice that you just had, I'm going to love it. So you just
I messed up on the voice. I was trying to get it.
You set yourself up, kid. I better hear that voice every time Vernak speaks. That was great.
No C in Vernak.
There is no C.
Yeah.
Vernak
without a C.
So just to let people know, I guess when I made an overlay, I put a C in his name, and I was reminded there is no C. So thank you, Brian, for correcting me. I'm certain that will have some sort of consequence for you later on in the session.
DM, can Vernak even spell? Does it matter?
Right. No, Vernak cannot spell, but unfortunately the player that is playing him can, and we shall see what happens. So last time that we played, the party was in the village of Barovia, where they had spent the evening with the villager named Mary, who had daughter had run away. The party had agreed to help, hopefully locate Gertruda, who Mary believed had fled to Strahd's keep, Ravenloft, and they then proceeded to, so the session opened with it being the following morning, and they were heading to the church because, oh crap, I can't even remember why you guys were heading that way.
Bury body.
Because there was something fishy going on inside the church, and I sent Renard, my good friend, to go in there and check it out, eh?
Yeah.
Then we all decided what the fuck we might as well go in.
Yeah, but before that, you guys had stopped at the tavern, the Blood on the Vine tavern. You met three Vistani Vistani woman and the bartender there. And you chatted with them a little bit. You learned maybe a little bit more lore about this valley of Barovia. One of them showed a certain interest in the body that you carried, but beyond that, they didn't really say much more. But you guys were going to bury the body or have the body taken care of. And I think you guys were heading towards the church. And that's when you encountered a rather well-dressed man by Barovian standards who identified himself as the son of the Burgermeister. George, however, was not having that lie and went to very quickly grab this charlatan and shake out of him the truth. And from that confrontation, they did find out, oh, wait, maybe he is the son of the Burgermeister, and he brought them, you all, to his mansion. And it's at that point that you guys found out that his father had perished, and you met his sister, Irina. And while there, you had also found that their mansion had come under attack because his sister, Irina, had been bit at least twice by the devil Strahd. And I believe, Zarg, you actually looked at the injuries, and not good. I think you put some of your holy water on it, and the reaction was probably wasn't what Zarg expected, but maybe a little what Zarg expected. And anyways,
does anyone know what Zarg was expecting?
I don't even
sure
want to
Zarg
fathom a guess at what Zarg is expecting. I don't even think John knows what Zarg is expecting.
No, I think that it was exciting for the peroxide-like effect to come off the wound. I thought that was a cool thing.
Yeah.
And then she couldn't drink the holy water.
Yeah. I think Callista quickly made a catalog the room that you guys were in, evaluating all the stuff, what might be worthy to steal. She did not, however, steal anything. And Ismark, the son of the Burgermeister, had asked if you would be willing to help him to bury his father. No one else from the town was willing to do this because of fear that Devil Strahd would bring swift retaliation against them, because they see the Burgermeister as dying as the will of the Devil Strahd. So you guys very nobly decided to help, and the two large Goliaths carried this coffin bearing the Burgermeister north to the church grounds. You stopped by the tavern. We retconned that, but you stopped by the tavern, grabbed the body of the Burgermeister's servant, whose name I do not know right now, but he's a red shirt and does not matter. So you you carried that body as well. You met Father Donovic, not Brother Donovic, Father Donovic, who is the priest of this village, and the church itself is actually a rather dilapidated building, and I think, Zarg, you recognize the symbol of the Morning Lord hanging from around this priest's neck, and you could see, and his robes were rather soiled, but at one point they were probably this very fine white linen. He was more than willing to help do the ceremony to bury both the Burgermeister and his servant. And you guys did that, but not without some chagrin from George, who very quickly threw a shovelful of dirt against the priest, of course playing it off as an accident, and that went off well. So after that ceremony was done, the graves were consecrated by Father Donovic, and so we had ended last session with the party, Father Donovic going ahead and the party seeing Zadara crouched near the entrance to the graveyard. But we're actually going to roll it back a little bit because Zadara is not here for this session. So it's just after Father Donovic has finished the ceremony for the Burgermeister and the other gentlemen, and he turns to go. He mumbles something to Ismark, and I think Zarg, you would probably hear it, and anyone else that cares to hear it can give me a perception roll. But
Me. Perception roll.
Anyone can make one?
yeah, anyone? Yeah. So George, you hear it as well. Pilfert hears it. Callista hears it.
Okay.
Oh, I do.
Veranak does not, because he's too busy crunching on a large pig ear. Yeah, so you hear him as he says to... actually, I'm going to back up a little bit. Irina is kneeling at the grave of her father, praying. You know, her hands kind of clasped before her. And she's just quite... You know, she got the tears running down from her closed eyes along her cheeks. Ismark is standing close by with a comforting hand on her shoulder, looking down. Father Donovic says to him, "Will be so kind as to return the shovels. I must return to the church." And he turns and gives a very curt nod to the rest of you as he starts to shuffle along this overgrown path through the cemetery back towards the church. And Ismark would sit there for a moment. He leans down, gives his sister a kiss on the top of her head, and hurries after Father Donovic, probably a good stone's throw away from you all. And as they're walking slowly, you can see that Ismark and Father Donovic are locked in a conversation.
Okay.
Dramatic pause.
Dramatic pause. Yeah, Zarg will move closer to the lady Irina because he's not going to leave her side. He has a vow to keep her safe, so he will wait there patiently for her. And since Renard's not here, I'm not going to yell out to Renard to go follow the priest because that would force you to have to roleplay that. So that's all Zarg will do.
Yep, no, Renard is just standing nearby. He too is not willing to go too far from Irina. Maybe not fully understanding the full breadth of what it really means. Not having much experience with Vampire and what it really means for Irina's fate that she has been bitten. What are the rest of y'all doing?
I think Callista is going to follow the priest.
Okay.
There, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I think Callista's going to follow the priest.
Is there an echo in here? I'm just kidding because you said that already. You said that twice.
I think you thought you were.
I think you thought you were muted.
You were muted, Carol.
Oh, okay.
I'm
sorry. I thought for some reason it was one of those like mute without telling me.
No,
weird
just picking on you, Carol. Just picking on you. Yeah. So Callie, there's probably a couple moments pass, and you kind of just start following along the path behind the father and Ismark.
She would probably just as soon skulk and try to avoid being noticed while she follows him.
So she's trying to stay a little bit low to this the
Yeah.
overgrowth. Okay, cool. So that would give me a stealth roll. George, what is George doing?
George is just gonna throw the shovel on the ground. And
I don't know why I get so much pleasure from George's disdain of the shovel, but I really do. You feel a nuzzle along your neck. It's you Pilfert, and he whispers to you. He goes, "What do you think happens to them?" And his nose kind of twitches, and he looks over to where Irina is.
George, no clue.
And Pilfert says, "Do you think the soul is trapped like the body?"
George thing.
George gets this very, like, deep in thought look on his face for anyone that looks at him. Not you, Callista, because you're scampering away, but...
Yeah, George think body rot. Soul go with it.
You know, you would see, George, it would be a look of contemplation on Pilfert as he hears your wise words, and he says, possibly, brother. And he kind of scampers down into the pouch that you have had sewn into your overcoat, your surcoat. Did you give me the stealth? Oh, your stealth roll. Yeah. So you're scampering up, moving from grave marker to grave marker. So you're just you can hear it's obviously a murmured conversation, and as they're walking along, but as you draw closer, in near silence, you hear Ismark say, "But do you think that that's a good idea?" And he stops for a moment, and so does Father Donovic. They're just maybe 10 feet from the gate and he looks over his shoulder back at your companions. You kind of panic for a second, Callista, and duck behind the grave marker, and hoping that he did not see you. And then he continues. Do you think it's wise to move her here from Barovia? And you hear the sound of Father Donovic's voice. He says, "She's not safe here, boy. Listen to me. She's in the shadow of Ravenloft. As long as she is there, you will not be able to protect her. He will get her. No. Take her west. That is her saving grace, I think." There's a pause, and then you hear the two men begin to walk again. "If you think that is the best, Father Donovic, I will suggest it to them." And the men walk out of the gate, heading towards the church. I don't know if you want to continue to follow them, Callista.
For a while.
Okay. So you move along and dip out the gate behind them. You would find that there's not as much in the way of things you could hide behind, but you could probably just kind of follow along the wall of the church. But you can give me another stealth roll. And while she is doing that, Irina rises from her father's grave. She turns and gives you a warm smile, Zarg, and to Renard as well. She kind of wipes the tears off of her cheeks. She goes, "I know it is foolish of me to cry like this, but I will miss my father."
It is foolish. He is gone. You should just release yourself from this pain and move on.
She looks hurt by the words that you what you say, Zarg, but she slowly nods her head. She goes, "You are right. It is foolish. My father, he would be angry if he knew. He would want me safe." And she puts a hand on your arm, Zarg, and she goes, "Thank you." And she looks across the rest of you that are there, obviously absent Callista, and she says, "Thank all of you. My father, he is at peace now." And she would see Ismark walking off away, much distant now from... Yeah, Callista, you are just like a ghost. Yeah, you can't even see yourself. Your stealth was so well. But yeah, she sees that her brother and Father Donovic are making their way to the front of the church. And she goes, "Ismark will be angry if I do not catch him up." and she would take her hand from your arm, Zarg, and she would start to move, following her brother.
Zarg will actually grab her arm gently as she passes, just to stop for a second. Lady, if you plan on entering the church, I will not be able to protect you in that.
She looks kind of quizzically at you. I was not planning on going into the church, but I do not know why you cannot protect me there.
It is simple. I will not enter that church. It is not my church. And my God would not be happy if I entered that church. Unless I was there to destroy it. But he kind of smiles. But right now I will not do this. I have other things to do.
Okay.
And with that, I will actually like kind of bow to her a little bit, and kind of like Zarg will hold his hand out towards the men and follow right behind her. And then as he does, he walks by Renard and he's smiling.
Yeah, Renard kind of walks, kind of following behind you, smiles at Irina and says, Talos is a very powerful god. And I am not doing Renard's voice any justice.
Wow, that wasn't even close to Renard's
Not even
voice.
close. Not
You
even
were
close.
closer to
Sorry, Harry.
George or Vernock than you were.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know Renard very well.
Yeah.
So anyways, he walks by. Actually, I'm going to retcon that because I can do that because I'm the game master.
Yeah,
he walks by. He looks like he's about to say something to Irina, and then he just gives her like a nod, and walks up along to catch up to you, Zarg, and walk alongside you. Which would leave just the two Goliaths and Pilfert. One shovel cast aside with disdain, just sitting in the long grass. And Vernak still holding his shovel dutifully, maybe patting like the last little bit of the earth down that was covering the servant of the Burgermeister. Callista, as you kind of follow behind them, they're continuing to engage in conversation, and it seems rather mundane, nothing that catches Callista's interest, but you do hear something. They seem to be arguing about where Irina should go, and Father Donovic says, I tell you, the town of Valaki, this is the safest place for her to go. They have a wall. They are able to hold back the Dark One's evil presence. And he's kind of struggling with how he wants to say it. And he kind of looks nervous. And even though he can't see where the castle is because he's kind of blocked by the side of the church that they're walking alongside, you see him look up that way. And his voice gets even quieter. You need a perception roll if you want to hear what he says.
Sure. Here, let me just click on the right thing here somewhere. Perception. That's not nearly as good as my passive.
Okay. Yeah, it's garbled. You're not able. It's too quiet. You can't hear, and you're afraid that if you move too much closer, that they might see or hear you.
I think it's getting to the point where she's probably about ready to head back if there's nothing new really going on.
Yeah. So as they're turning around the corner of the church to the front, where the main doors are, you stand and you start making your way back to the graveyard, and that's when you see Irina walking towards you. She looks a little surprised. You kind of just seem to like almost materialize out of like the overbrush that has grown up along the edge of this church. And she's like, oh, apologies, I did not see you.
Oh, no problem. Where are you headed?
And she points and she goes, I'm catching up with my brother. I believe your friends are coming.
Shall I walk with you?
And she smiles at that and gives you a nod. And
Don't
yeah,
let her get too close, Idina.
yeah, that's right, Zarg. Zarg, you,
Lighter than they started with.
nice. That's right, because Zarg and Renard are not far behind. As you're having this conversation, that's about the same time Zarg and Renard come up. And George and Virnak, I assume you guys are kind of trailing behind.
Yeah, but
Oh
the
no!
shovel that
Oh no,
George
Brian!
put
Brian!
down, he's gonna pick up George's shovel because it can't just leave a mess there. So
Right.
He is the most polite.
He's the
barbarian.
politest and
Man.
neatest barbarian you'd ever.
Yeah,
He's
he
one
is.
that you would invite over for a tea party.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you pick up this other shovel and catch up with your companion George, and you catch up to the rest of the group, and you round the corner, and Ismark is just finishing his conversation. The priest is up these few steps that lead to the double doors that enter, and he's down at the base of them. He's looking up at Father Donovic. And whatever they were talking about, it seems that they've reached some sort of an accord, Callista. Because he turns, faces you all, and you can see that that look on his face is one of determination. He sees his sister, and he smiles at her, and he immediately gives her an embrace. And you can see that there's definitely a familial love between these two. So he gives her another kiss, this time on her forehead, and puts his hands on her shoulder and kind of moves her back a bit. And he smiles at her. He says, "Now, Arina, I want you to listen to me. So be silent and let me finish first." And then he turns to the rest of you and he says, "I have spoken with Father Donovic, and we are of a mind that by chance you may be able to help us. There is a town not far from here, maybe 2 days. It's called Velaki. It is walled. And Father Donovic and I believe that if we could get my sister there, she would be safer than here. She would be out of the eye of the devil. Would you?" And you can see Irina getting ready to protest, and his hand, you see his hand just gets firmer on her shoulder. And he says, "Would you be willing to help us? Help me get my sister there?" Now, you guys have no idea where Velaki is.
Milwaukee sounds full of Milwaukee.
Zar kind of looks at Renard, waiting, because he's been trying to get Renard to be more Talos-like, and aggressive and cocksure and stuff, and he's really failing him. So he's kind of just sighs.
He shrugs. Renard shrugs. And he clears his throat. Certainly the strength and will of Talos would be more than enough protection to get your sister there. And he kind of looks at you.
Yeah, Zarg, literally his face, his jaw just drops, and he's like scrunching his nose, like, "What the fuck did you just say?" And he kind of holds his hand up and closes his eyes and goes, "Oh, lady, we would not be indisposed with helping you. And this is something that I think would be good for us to do. But we have present course of action that we have to follow. We are to meet with some Vistani woman. If you can wait for us to do this short trip to there, when we get back, perhaps we could take you."
You see a look of desperation in Ismark's eyes. We could go with you. It is almost on the way.
Zarg thinks about it for a couple seconds. You see very slowly the wheels are turning in his head. And he's like, "Great, we shall do this. What do you all think?" That does not matter. Talos demands us to take this fine woman back to a safer place. And we can stop by the Vistani and speak to that hot, sexy madam that keeps talking about.
Callista rolls her eyes again.
What say you, Renard? Ah, yes, Renard, I understand.
Yeah, he seems to be like surprised that all of a sudden you ask him the question. He's like startled, and he just gives you a very approving nod.
George, Brother Pilford, Virnak, what do you think? The three of you.
Baranak kind of, he looks at he's kind of admiring the shovels that he just got his hands on. Kind of like he's zoned out of the conversation. Hearing his name, he kind of just looks back, not even knowing what he's agreeing to, and nods. And he goes back to admiring his new shovel, because, I don't know, it just fascinates him at this point.
Itzbek smiles warmly. He pulls his sister, with his arm wrapped around her beside him, and he looks at her and he says, "See, Irina, they will help us. They will get you there safely." And he looks up at the father and he says, "Thank you, Father Donovic." And if you remember from last session, Father Donovic looked nervous about something. I think you keyed into it, Zarg. And I can't remember if it was Renard as well.
Well, yeah, Zarg had mentioned it to Renard. That's why Renard was...
Okay, yeah. And so he's there and he says... and he kind of does the symbol of the rising, the morning Lord to you all, and he says... May the blessings of the morning Lord be upon you all, except for you and you.
And Callista says, "Thank you, Father Donovic."
Yeah. And safe journey to you all. And
Brother Donovich.
Yeah, he kind of rankles a little bit at you continuing to call him brother, because he feels that places him below his station. But he slowly turns as you see him kind of reaching to open the door to the church.
George is just gonna kind of walk on by the father. George need place to sit.
He kind of interposes himself before you, and he's much more diminutive. He's a lot smaller than you are, George. You just tower over this guy. And you kind of break the eye contact that he has as he turned to face Zarg. So I didn't know if you wanted to say something, Zarg.
No,
George.
I did. I was just waiting for George to see what George did. I didn't know if George was going to knock him out of the
Well, I think this is happening at the same time. So
Yeah.
George is kind of stepping up there as you said that. So the
No,
brother.
I literally, Zarg would stop and watch to see what
Oh
George
yes.
I mean, last time he walked towards someone, they got a beating. So he's kind of hoping he does.
Zarg reaches down into his other satchel, the one that Callie didn't put her hand in, and pulls out this little thing of popcorn.
Yep.
So George, the stage is yours.
So George is just gonna walk by him.
Yeah, he puts a hand up. It's shaking a little bit, and he puts it on your chest, which he has to reach up to do. And he says, my good fellow, where do you think you are going?
Before he can even finish saying that, I'm just gonna kind of move him to the side.
Yeah, he starts to get desperate. You hear the desperation in his voice. There's no insight roll needed. He says, No, you cannot go into the church. What are you doing? And he puts his hands on you, and he's not a strong man. He looks, like I said, he's got these huge bags under his eyes. He's an older man anyways, and rather frail. But he makes an effort to try to hold you back from the doors, George. Ismart says, What are you doing?
George going to sit, and I'm just gonna move him to the side.
And in I guess a last bit of desperation, Father Donovic says, You can sit right here on the steps. You do not have to go in.
I'm just gonna move him to the side and go in.
All right, so give me we'll do an opposed strength roll, which I'm kind of laughing about because I imagine Father. Now you got me doing it, John. That's not cool, man.
You are being a convert, DM. Soon you will be worshipping Talos just like everyone else.
Ooh.
Brother Donovic,
there is this surge of strength in this frail old man, and you are surprised by it. You think you're going to easily move him aside, and he almost is able to stop you. But then it's like one of those things you're like, yeah, and you start to move it, and it's like, wait a second. And then you have to put a little bit more strength into it, and yeah, you are able to move him aside, like not cast him aside, but he definitely kind of stumbles down the stairs in the direction of Ismark, Irina, and the rest of your party, leaving the doors open to you, George. And you all would see just this look of utter sheer panic and terror on Brother Donovic's face. Bro, you did it, John. I just realized I said Brother Donovic.
Yeah, you did, buddy.
I hate you.
Step into the dark side.
All right.
Complete.
All right, what does George do? George, you still have the stage, sir.
George is walking in.
Okay, you push open these doors, and they reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hallway leading into a chapel that you can tell even from this distance is brightly lit, even though it is the middle of the morning. But the first thing that you would catch is you take that first step inside. The hall itself just is unlit, but it reeks of mildew. You can see 4 doors, 2 to either side of this hall. And as you look to the chapel beyond, you see that it's strewn with debris, and you hear the sound of Father Donovic as he kind of regains his footing, and you hear him scrambling up the steps after you, and you feel a tug as he pulls at your tabard. Your surcoat that you wear over your armor tugs at it. What are you doing? You know you can't go in there.
I'm just gonna keep going.
This is an affront to the Manning Lord, and you're kind of like pulling him along as he's trying to pull. He looks back desperately at Ismark. Ismark definitely looks concerned by this, and Irina herself is trying to figure out what is happening. So you start walking down this hall. What are the rest of you doing? So Father Donovic is starting to desperately follow after George, and Ismark is not far behind the priest.
Zarg is just smiling because this is hilarious to him. And he turns to Callie and says, Callie, don't you think you should follow your Goliath pet there? Make sure keep him safe, perhaps.
Burn. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you guys onto a map.
For those at home, a map is a grid where we can...
For those of you at
Get
home...
in trouble.
Let me see. Where is George? George is here.
Kelly's good at throw.
Can you see George? Can you see inside?
Yeah.
And we're going to actually use our map overlay.
Ooh, man.
So you are in the hallway. You can move yourself to either side of this hall that you want to be, George. But Father Donovic is right behind you, followed closely by Ismark, who I just covered up. Fear not, sorry. Irina is close by to there, and Callie, or maybe here. Yeah, Zarg, you can be there. Move yourself where you want. Renard is nearby. Zadara is not there.
Yeah, Zarg will never be more than... he's in the next space, always next to Irina.
Okay, so if you move there, do not move any further, George. So Father Donovic is chasing after you. You see Ismark come through the door. All right, the doors are open.
Kelly wants to. She shoots Zarg this really dirty look. It's like, George is not a pet. He's a bee.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done, Carol. My bad.
No, he's a person. But as a friend, I am going to look after him.
Exactly. You will do as I say.
She moves
George,
up.
George, I need you to give me a perception roll, please, when you're there.
Are we saying what we want to do now? Is that what
Yes. Yep.
Bernard is hearing Zarg's comment is gonna like look at Zarg and growl, but he's also gonna be following Callista in.
Yeah, I guess she'll probably go in.
Yeah, you hear Father Donovic, George, as he's following behind you,
Oh, this is
pleading.
weird.
He says, "You must leave. You must leave this church now.
I'll put myself behind Callie.
What are you
right
doing?"
now.
And again, he starts repeating the same thing. This is an affront to the Morning Lord to barge his way into his and he kind of flushes a bit at the cheeks when he sees you looking around what is now this wasted chapel. You see all these pews. Let me give you a nice little description of it. The chapel is in shambles with overturned and broken pews littering the dusty floor. Dozens of candles mounted on candlesticks and candelabras light every dusty corner of this in a fervent attempt to rid the chapel of shadows. At the far end of the church sits a claw-scarred altar, behind which kneels... Oh, no, that he's not kneeling behind there. And you also see this long, thick rope that stretches down from the bell tower. So the rest of you, as you come into this hallway, Callista, I need you to give me a perception roll. You see Father Donovic is up near George, and he's trying to still pull at his... Yeah.
That's still not good.
If I follow her in, do I need to make one or no?
Yeah, anyone that comes into the hall, as you come into the hall, give me a perception roll. Yeah, you just hear the fervent pleas of Father Donovic.
Yeah, 15.
George is gonna look at Brother Donovic.
You bastard. I hate you. It's official. I hate you. I hate John. I may hate Carol and Brian, depending on how they refer to Father Donovic. Anyways, continue.
Gonna say, little man keep messy house.
He looks around, and he's like, as you can see, you fool, we were attacked. And he points to the scarred altar. The devil, he does not want the presence of the Morning Lord here in the valley.
Doesn't the Morning Lord protect you, Father Donovic?
You see him, he's clutching with his left hand the emblem of the Morning Lord Lathander. And he says, his power is great, but even one such as he, power wanes here under the shadow of the devil. And Ismark, you hear Ismark's voice, George, behind you, say, "You should listen to the priest. It is not right to be barging your way in here. Do you have no manners?" And then he's probably thinking back to the earlier interaction y'all had earlier that morning. And I think it's one of those questions he already knows the answer. He's already answered that question for himself, but he asked it anyways.
Right. George is gonna say, where'd George come from? Place of worship is open to all. No need permission to enter. And if, from what George knows, if a god will allow this to happen to place of worship, then he must be a weak god.
You see some backbone return to this old withered priest. And he stands a bit straighter, and he says, "Those are blasphemic words. Dare you say that? You saw what we did. We laid the Burgermeister. He still has power here. It is why it is even still here. You do not understand, you fool. You have not been in the valley long enough. This church has stand here for centuries. You've been here what? 2, maybe 3 days. Stay here for 3 weeks and we see if you can still have that courage. And it's like this. It's almost like this switch was flipped for this priest. And we're gonna stop that. We're gonna interrupt that conversation because Vernak, as you walk in, kind of following up behind everyone else. And I'm assuming Zark, you're staying outside.
I am staying.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sure.
And you hear, you hear the confrontation or the discussion that is happening between Father Donovic, George, and now Ismark. Okay. So you would hear like this much quieter voice. Sounds like it's muffled. Can't make out what it's saying, but there's definitely a voice. It's coming from, and I think Callista, you would, and then probably there's like that pause in a conversation. Probably when George makes that comment and he berates, and then the Father Donovic berates George. There's like that pause, and you would hear that as well with your passive perception. And it's coming from behind this door here.
So I hear a muffled voice. That's what.
Yeah, it sounds like a muffled voice. Something like someone talking, but you can't quite make it out because it's behind the door.
I'm going
maybe
to
distant.
Remember, I'm going to kick the door down.
Wow. Give me a strength
Check to
roll.
see if it's locked first. Nah, probably not.
No, right. The Goliath handbook for doors is knock first.
Yeah.
Don't wait for an answer.
Kick it in.
Check the lock. Kick it in. It's those 3 steps. You gotta follow them just like that. Yeah. You now how does Vernak open this door when you say kick? You're gonna literally? Are you gonna literally kick it in?
Yeah, it's kind of like in I think it's the movie 300 where there's that hole and it goes this is Sparta. It's kind of like a
Yes.
Spartan kick.
Yes. He Spartan kicks this
Holding
door.
2 shovels.
Yeah, I was gonna say clutching 2 shovels. Yeah. So, George. So you're just berated by this priest, and I don't know if George is about to reply, but whatever reply is lost to the cacophonous sound of wood splintering as as Vernak kicks open this door, and there's a slam of the door as it hits the wall, and you hear more splintering wood, as it almost is taken from its hinges. What you see beyond this door, and you can move yourself in there, Vernak, if you'd like.
Sweet.
What you see is time and neglect have punched holes in the ceiling of this moldy room, which contains a few broken roof shingles amid puddles of water. In one corner, set into the floor, is a heavy wooden trapdoor held shut with a chain and a padlock. You hear what sounds to be a young man's screams of anguish beyond the trapdoor.
How well are these shovels of mine? Do they look like pretty worn, or?
They kind of look like a classic medieval shovel. It's a long, straight handle, and it's just a straight. It's not a curved spade like a common day spade. It's got a square edge. So,
I'm gonna go up to it, and with both shovels, I'm gonna swing at the lock.
Okay, cool. So you move yourself towards that trapdoor. So that's what you are doing. There's a wail of panic from Father Donovic as he starts to push past Ismark, who is just surprised by this crashing sound of the door. And he says, "No!" And he goes to run past this way towards the door.
Does he have a look of anger on his face or a look of
no? Give me an insight. Sorry. So the noise brings you into the
Well,
the church. I
Irina
see.
did because she stepped into the freaking place.
Oh yeah.
Happening.
Yeah, because she's like wandering. So she's just coming through. So you would see this great Goliath holding these two shovels in each hand, and he just goes boom. Kicks his door open and he disappears into the room.
When I see Brother Donovich walking toward, aggressively moving, I will reach down and pick up Irina and run outside.
Okay, she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And yeah, you.
And then as I go through the door with her, I wave my hand, and you hear like thunder, and the doors close.
Yeah, and but here's the funny thing is, right? So you bring her outside, but
Yeah.
Renard was following behind, and he's confused, and he's looking at you, and he's just about to step back to follow you, and the doors boom, slam shut in his face. And you hear and I wish Harry was here because he could do this so well. You hear it muffled. Oh, all right. And so, give me an attack roll on this lock with the shovel. Now you are not skilled in shovel as a weapon, Virnak, so you do not get your proficiency bonus, but you can add your strength.
But if he's using it as a lever, can he get advantage on a strength thing to break it?
Wait a second. Now, see, Zarg would do that. Kalista would do that. Renard would do that. Zadara would do that.
Is he proficient in improvised weapons, though? That's the question.
No, he's a barbarian.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
he
no matter what, he's gonna.
So do you want me to roll twice for both shovels or just?
No, just give me the one roll. We're not like in a combat situation.
18.
Yeah. The first one comes down, and these chains and this lock are rusted. As that first edge of the shovel blade strikes, it kind of strikes at the rust, and it kind of reveals that shine of steel or of the iron beneath. And you see the lock shakes under the blow, and then you bring down a second one right behind it, and then you see that snap of iron, as the base of the lock skitters across the floor and is lost in one of the puddles. You hear down below, you hear a voice, "Father?" As Donovic runs into the room. He says, "What are you doing?" And George, Kalista, what are you doing?
Lisa's like, George, did you want to go?
Mic's muted. I forgot to mute my own mic when saying that.
Still kind of heard him though through Vernak.
Yeah.
My curiosity speaks, so I'm gonna go into the room with Bernat with the C.
And I will follow George. Because that seems a little safer than going before him.
Yeah. So move your tokens into that room. You hear the rattle of the door, Zarg, as Renard is opening the door, and he opens it a bit, and he peeks out at you and Irina, and he says, "You might want to come in here." And again, that's not Renard's voice, and
it is very almost identical. You're doing a great job.
yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm
I
going
will
to
look
send
over
hate
at
mail
him.
to Harry for not
I will
making
look over
faces.
at him and say, "Renard, be my witness in there." And I close the door again with.
Yes! Boom! It slams shut again. And he's just about to say something, and the door gets pulled from his hand as you kind of
Don't
bring
worry,
it shut.
Lady Irina. I shall protect you from anything.
Yeah, so these you guys file into this room, and it's just as you see this chain has been has fastened or been looped through these iron rings on this trap, this moly and water-soaked trap door. And you all can hear this, though muffled, voice asking his father, "What are you doing, father?" And Father Donovic is almost beside himself with and he grabs you, Vernak, and he pleads at you. He says, it is not his fault. You cannot go down there. It is better if you do not go down. And he looks very panic-stricken at the trapdoor. And then he looks at you, George, as you come into the room. Then you, Callista. He says, you all cannot go down there. I have tried to help him. It's best for him.
Why not? Why shouldn't we go down there? What's going on?
And his shoulders just slump and droop. And he says, "This is my son."
Oh, yes. What of it?
He is not himself. You know of the wizard that came?
Yes.
That thought to rid the valley of the devil. My son, Toru, fell under the sway of this wizard and went with him. None returned. And then he looks at the door, and there's like you hear this plead from below, muffled, "Father!" And he says, "That's not true. My son, he did return, but it was not my son. I was able to trap him in the basement of the church. You cannot go down there. There's no help from him now." You hear the voice, "Father," and it sounds closer.
Can I do like an insight check to see if I can tell, this, I mean, Father Donovic probably actually believes this, but if she can gain any insight as to what he's doing or why or...
How old would you say the voice is?
Oh, wow. That'd be an investigation roll, George.
If it's sounded older or like a kid. So.
Sounds young. You can't pinpoint an age, but definitely younger than Father Donovic's voice.
Does it sound like a child?
No.
Or...
No, you get a sense from Father Donovic's story that if his son Doru went with this wizard and others to try to defeat the devil Strahd, that he probably was a young man.
We were told that he was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I don't know if you guys remember that we had the whole discussion when we were marrying him. He said that we were discussing the wizard last time.
Yeah,
but I think everybody was privy to the conversation. I mean, whether George or Vernak remember, that's totally different. But
it's probably one of those things. It's there. It's in there, and it's only when it's like there's that little like execution code that it like pops back. Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah. I think Pilford remembers. He's a
Pilford.
Brilliant tactician.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so with that investigation, it sounds like a young man.
Okay.
He tugs at you, Vernak, trying to bring you from the room. And you see him kind of looking around. He sees the destroyed lock, and that does little to calm the priest.
What are you going to do, Vernak?
No. Vernak's gonna be. Oh, Vernak's a little bit confused on why Father Donovic is.
Thank you.
Kind of like in this panic state, because all Vernak's hearing is the voice calling for his father. So Vernak's gonna push. If I remember, you said father is grabbing onto Vernak.
Yeah, he's like trying to guide you, not
He's
rough,
kinda like-
not roughly, but kind of just like, no, follow me, come this way.
Vernak's gonna take his the hands that are or hands that is grabbing him and kind of like slowly take him off, and then lift up the door.
So Vernak, have you put your shovels down?
I'll put one shovel down.
Put the shovel down. Yeah. You could give me a athletics roll to pull the hands free of you or off of you or push them off. Yeah. Yeah, he's got like this death grip onto the fabric of your tunic.
Stop me! I'll still open up the door.
Yeah. So you kind of just reach and wrench this trapdoor open, and it reveals a narrow set of stairs that lead down into darkness.
Right. You said, wait, like
Father?
steps or like a ladder?
Father, are you alone? I don't think you are alone. I am so hungry. Did you bring me food?
I think Callista would probably want to light a torch and toss it down the stairs.
Yeah. Sure. So you're just like carrying all your kit with you as you went to bury.
Oh, I should say, after Vernak opened the door, I picked.
But anyways, Callista, you would have seen all those lights, those candles and candelabras burning in the chapel as well. You see Ismark in the doorway. He's looking, and you see him look at Father Donovic with this look of horror on his face. Maybe his hand up near his mouth. You know how like someone they like, oh my god. And he takes a couple steps back from the door. You can see Renard kind of standing alongside him as well. So you're gonna light a torch, you said, Callista. So you strike a little bit of flint and steel, and a torch comes to life in your hand.
Does she? Forget it.
Oh, she's gone. I just noticed that she's gone.
Keep it with me.
Yeah. So what do? Vernak? You rip open the door.
I ripped open the father. I was like, oh my god!
Wow, that just went dark really quick. You just ripped Father Donovic in half, and with a spray of blood. No, you rip open this
I guess.
this trap door, and you hear that thing, and then you hear even louder, desperate voice say, "Father, I am starving." And you can hear probably well, actually give me a perception roll, see what you truly hear coming from.
Gotcha. There you go. You said perception?
Yes.
Boop. 16.
Yeah, you hear the scampering sound, like maybe feet on earth, an earth floor, and it's coming towards these narrow stairs.
Alright, I don't know if I have to say this again, but Vernak is picking up the shovel that he put down.
Oh yeah. You reach down and you pick up your shovel.
He's going to ready them for whatever is coming up said stairs.
Okay, cool. And so this torch comes to life in your hand, Callista. The flames just kind of casting ominous looking shadows across this moldy, wet room. And it kind of seems to flicker across the stairs. Father Donovic just collapses to his knees and begins to weep, seeing Vernak preparing to deal death to whatever is below. Callista, are you going to move forward? Because you would have to move past
Well-
George in order to.
So there's sort of like people in the way.
Yeah, so you would have to move George aside, so that you could.
No, she's
Flip.
not gonna move forward.
All right.
Can
So.
she use like an acrobatics thing to see if she can toss it?
Oh no. You can just give me. You want to toss it to the stairs?
Yeah, I want to toss it down.
Yeah, that's pretty easy enough. Like I said, Father Donovic drops to his knees, so you could actually just kind of throw it between Vernak and George.
Yeah, she wants to light up the stairway, but keep her distance from it.
Yeah, just give me a roll, so you'll be able to throw it, no problem. The what you roll will determine how where it actually lands.
Acrobatics?
No,
Okay.
just an attack roll with the torch.
Okay. Attack roll with the torch, which would be.
It would be strength because it's a thrown weapon, but you don't have.
I thought thrown weapons were.
They use strength. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah, you throw it, and you throw it a little bit harder than you intend to, and it hits against the wall.
Oh no, that's not -1. It's actually 5.
Yeah, still,
I should
it hits against the wall, and kind of there's a shower of sparks from the torch. It kind of sputters for a second, but it does not go out, and it drops and kind of just rolls down into the hole. And you can kind of see that flickering glow. As the torch kind of rolls off of the stairs and falls to the floor of the cellar below.
I think at this point.
I'm scared, Father.
I think she's. Well. No, never mind. Oh wait.
Father Donovic, almost in a screech, and I know I'm probably not going to be able to get this.
Do it.
And he goes, Dodo, don't come up here. Don't come. And you just hear a response say, but I'm so hungry. And you hear scraping at the base of the stairs, Vernak and George. And you can almost see like a shadowed form flickers into a little bit of the light if you were to peer down.
I'm gonna get my maul ready.
Yeah. You don't wait long as this kind of pale, emaciated form, and I'm actually going to share the picture of you, kind of comes up like on hands and like in all fours. I am so hungry, it says as it appears. Let me share the image with you. And I actually shared a picture with you. I didn't do it last session of Father Donovic, but it is in your handout folder. But you see this young man. He's dressed in rags that were probably once fairly sturdy Barovian garb. His hands and his fingernails are all dark and encrusted with dirt. His eyes are sunken, and his skin is very pale.
Definitely getting my bow and arrow.
So he
ready.
comes up, Vernak. You would see him come up, and he kind of turns to face you all, and he just hisses. And as he does so, that's when you notice these fangs that are where his normal canine teeth would be. So you could take your readied action, Vernak. You could strike with the 2 shovels, and you could strike with your maul, George, and then we'll roll initiative.
Vernak being enraged by this battle creature coming at him with fangs, is going to rage and then swing with his. Do you want my initiative before I swing my 2 shovels?
No. You had a readied action, so you'll be able to do that. We'll roll our initiative.
Okay. And how does dual wielding work again?
So you cannot add your ability to the damage.
Okay,
for the
so
second one.
I don't get the I wouldn't get the +3 from strength.
No, you get to add your strength to the attack. You don't get your proficiency bonus because you're not proficient with shovel. Though technically, that's just like a tough thing because it's like you're not proficient with shovel, but it's like one could say it's sort of like a weapon. But anyways,
so these are both my shovel rolls.
Okay.
I don't know what a shovel would be damage wise.
We're just gonna say 1d6.
Okay. And it's just base 1d6, no pluses.
Yeah.
Do both those hit?
Yes, they do. You just bring them down on his shoulder, and the second one strikes. Oh, the first one strikes alongside his head, and there's like that sickening crack of bone as you shatter his cheekbone. So once you roll it, so your first one you can add your strength to. The second one you cannot.
Oh, okay. Well, I rolled 2d6 to make it easier.
Yep.
So then it'd be 8 for the first one then, and then 6 for the second.
Okay. Cool. Let me grab Doru. I just realized.
Then now I roll initiative. Is that what you want?
Yep.
Good.
And you, what was the damage you did? All up.
It was 14.
14. Okay.
8 plus 6. You said I could do strength for the first attack.
Yep, you could use it on the first weapon, but not the second. 14.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. The first blow takes him hard across the head, and you can, like I said, you can hear the cheekbone just shatter under the flat of this shovel, and he falls kind of back under the strength of the blow, and then you bring your shovel down, the other shovel down, and it cuts into his shoulder, and where you would expect blood to flow, you see none. And George, you made an attack. Yeah.
Did 11 damage.
Oh, you got the 18? Okay, let me do that. Math. I need to have a calculator here. And so, yeah, your hammer comes down. Again, there's a cracking and a crushing of bone. 14. And how much did you do, Brian?
Me? I did 14.
14 and 14. No, 11. So what was it all up? 14, 25?
Yeah.
Right. So can you guys see the health bar for this cat? This Doru?
I don't.
Nope.
No.
Okay. So yeah, you bring your maul down on this creature. To call it a man would be nowhere near the truth. And you hear the shoulder and collarbone shatter under the maul. But it seems like it doesn't affect him at all. And now let's roll. So everyone rolled their initiative but me.
Is Renard going to join us too?
Oh, I gotta.
Is he going to just stand out in the hallway and be a witness?
Yeah, you feel you hear it knocking at the door, Zarg, and you hear a muffled sound of Renard's voice. Something is happening here, Zarg. You better come in. He doesn't want the door slammed in his face again. So, let me organize this.
Who was the second initiative for?
I had to collect the token. All right. So that puts us at Doru. You hear a popping and a snapping, and as you pull back your maul, George, you can see the bones already starting to reset on his shoulder, and his cheek, where it was caved in from Vernak's shovel, pops out a bit. And he hisses at you and tries to grab at you, George.
Okay.
Claws at you. Okay, 10 will not hit you. Wow, let me change. I gotta change something on this character sheet. I don't like that it automatically rolls with advantage.
Yeah, because
So that misses you. And then, so he kind of claws at you, but it doesn't get past your armor. But then he tries to drive his fangs into your calf of your leg. And it is no good. And that brings us to you, George. You're up.
wouldn't it be Callista?
Nope. You're first. Why? Whoa. Yeah, I got two Vernacs and two Georges on my
Oh, okay. We
list.
don't.
Yeah, see, it should have been Callista, me, then Doru, then Vernac, because Doru rolled an 11 initially.
No, Doru rolled a 21.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll roll initiative for Bernard. Get him in the initiative. Yeah, another 21. So Bernard's banging on the door. We'll just step back a second because he's actually at the top of the turn order. And then he gingerly opens the doors and he looks at you, Zarg, saying that there is some sort of threat. Something has happening in here. He's not quite sure. Ismark has drawn his sword. Let me do Ismark too. So yeah, it is you, Callista. What are you going to do?
I've got my crossbow, or my short bow, excuse me, out, and I'm going to take a shot at Vernac. Oh, not Vernac. Take a shot at Doru.
Oh
Sorry,
my gosh,
Vernac.
she's on the other guy's team.
And I also get a sneak attack damage because my allies are next to him. Not much sneak attack damage, but it should be a total of
I forgot my rage damage last. But it's okay.
Oh, I didn't know you were raging.
Yeah, I said when he was coming at me with things, I was going into rage. But
Yeah.
fine.
No, it's probably better that you didn't because I'm not sure that he came up the stairs within 6 seconds and your rage would have faded and then you would have lost it. So, how much damage did you do, Carol?
a total of 6.
Okay.
I assume 20 hit him.
Yeah. 20 just barely hits him.
Sure.
Well, you're shooting past 3 people, Carol, to get this guy that's coming up out of these stairs through the trapdoor. So he definitely has 3/4 cover. But yeah, you still hit him for 6 piercing damage. The arrow kind of just shoots past and rips through the clothing of his torn tunic, and total 6 damage. All right.
Oh, Kylie's gonna say something else. I was just gonna say, sorry, Doctor. There we go. Sorry, Father Donovic, but this is an abomination. He must go.
Yeah, he seems like he's totally oblivious to any of that. He's just wailing, babbling, as you guys are trying to murder his poor son.
Oh no, it's pretty awful.
Yeah,
You
George.
guys are fucking evil.
Yeah, George.
George is going to attack. And oh yeah. So that's definitely.
You have inspiration.
Yeah, I'll use one of my inspirations to re-roll that attack.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, you bring your maul down. He kind of moves very quickly for someone that looks so frail and weak. So he moves aside so your maul glances across him, not seeming to cause as much harm as you would have thought. Vernac, you're up.
All right. Now I will go into a rage. And I my shovels. I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time and attack both. So 1, Does a 12 hit?
12 does not.
Alright, so only the first attack hit. And I add my strength to my first attack.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Plus 3. So 8 if you include my rage damage.
Yeah. Can you include it in your roll? You should be able to roll all this stuff
Alright.
right off of your character sheet, which will make things
I
a
don't
lot easier.
have a shovel on my character sheet.
Oh
I should
yeah,
add
that's
it.
true. That's true. Good point. Well, you get added, I guess, if you're going to keep using a shovel. So 8, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you miss with the second one. But strike with the first. The shovel kind of careening off the side of his head. There's like a loud like thong as the iron of the shovel kind of reverberates. But it doesn't seem to faze him overly much. Zarg, you're outside with Irina. She looks panicked. She looks at you and says, "Are you going to do something?" And you see her looking for like a weapon that she does not have.
I am protecting you. My friends are very competent. And Renard is in there. He can take care of this. No problem.
Where is Renard? Good question.
Yeah. Ismark is standing there with his sword drawn, and he sees how tightly packed you all are in this room, and he would retreat to the door and pull the door open. And seeing you, Zarg, he says, "I am not certain what is in there, but get my sister to safety." And,
Zarg raises his eyebrow like, that's what I'm doing. And they go, of course, that is what I am doing. I am protecting Lady Irina.
Yeah, perfect. And Doru goes next. I gotta find his character sheet. He is going to continue to claw at you, almost like in a frenzy, George. Oh my gosh. No. And tries to bite you. He starts clawing his way. He's fully out of the stairway now, and he tries to claw his way up on you and to bite at your neck. I'm gonna have to turn off that public roll thing. 17.
That's a hit.
Perfect. So yeah, you're kind of like trying to fight him off, and he's trying to claw at your face, and almost catching you by surprise. He quickly brings his mouth down and clamps on to your neck, and you feel his teeth pierce your skin. You're gonna take the 5 piercing damage and then 9 necrotic as you feel him sucking your life force from you.
All right,
So what happens is so your max hit points is reduced by 9. So if someone heals you, they cannot heal you beyond whatever your max is right now, minus 9.
so
And it healed. It's fucked up.
I could. How does Stone's endurance work towards that damage? Does it only work against the physical damage? Or does it work against all of it?
Well, what does it? I don't think it differentiates in it, so I'm not going to get too lost in the weeds on that.
You're just reducing the total damage.
Yeah.
So basically it'd be 14.
Total damage plus your con bonus.
So you can use your Stone's Endurance if you would like.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Although I don't.
So it's a 1d12 plus your con, or is it just 1d12?
It's a D12 plus your con, but I'm trying to figure out if I can roll it right from. How I can roll it right from the what do you call it?
Yeah, I don't think you can. Just roll a d12 plus whatever your con is.
Since he has the same stats as me, it should be.
So
Yeah, but what's your con?
It'd be 8.
Yeah, it's 8.
So you reduce your hit. You take 6 points of necrotic damage and reduce your hit point maximum by 6.
Okay.
So what do you have? 21. So your hit point maximum is 15. He pulls back his mouth and he just licks his lips as his face is just covered in your blood. And he says, "Finally, I eat." And you can see that he's getting ready to feast again on this large Goliath as Renard's turn. Renard pushes Irina back, and he looks at you, Zarg, and this is not going to be in Renard's voice. It's going to be in my voice, but picture it, Renard's voice. And he looks at you, Zarg, as he moves. He says, "I think he means that we should bring her to safety." And I get, that's not what he sounds like. But he would kind of start moving her down the steps away from the church.
Well, who would? Renard?
Renard, yeah.
Can I interpose myself between Renard and the door? Like, Renard, go back inside. You are the witness for Talos. You must chronicle everything that happens. I shall protect the Lady Irina.
Renard looks at you and says, "But my player is not here, and this is the best way for the GM to take me out of the action so that I don't have to run him."
Renard, just stand there off to the side watching. I don't need you to do anything but watch, because I cannot enter the church.
Oh. He says, a look of understanding comes across Renard's face. And he says,
I just need a witness.
And he goes, and he says, so because I'm an acolyte of Talos, I can enter the church because I'm not truly anointed yet.
You are anointed, my friend. You have the power of Talos flowing through you, but you must go in there. You must witness everything. You must keep track of it. You don't have to engage. And
okay,
he goes out, then run the fuck away, my friend.
He goes back in.
You must witness it.
Kalista, back to you.
Oh, jeez.
That was a mess.
Sorry, lad.
That's perfectly fine. Of course, Renard does not say anything about not his player not being here, but Kalista, let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Yeah, she's going. Well, I'm waiting for you to quit talking. She's going to shoot her short bow again.
Burn. Holy shit.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt him. Whoops. I can't type.
You can interrupt him.
I probably could. I do all the time, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. So the arrow hits. It strikes against him.
8 points of damage.
Yeah, and it's almost as if his skin is hardened. As the arrow strikes, it almost bounces off of this creature's flesh. You can see a mark of, now that he has drunk from George, you could almost see this thin mark of red beneath his shirt. George.
We've got to kill him quickly. He's
so
strong.
this thing is kind of just scratching at you and pulling at you, trying to get back to your neck to get that lovely warm blood that George has.
George is going to attack again.
Yeah, that will hit.
All right. So 10 damage, and I'm going to use my action surge.
Oh, you know something? I forgot. He actually regained health back, so I'm going to give him his health back after I take your damage off.
Okay. I'm going to use my action surge and attack again.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so 2 quick, vicious blows to him, but you see that he's just seems to be oblivious of it, as he has this frenzied hunger in his eyes. Virnak.
Alright. Are you doing cold shots? Is that
No. Cold shots are not a thing in 5e.
I'll attack him with the shovels again. One attack. Two attack. That was almost a 20.
It was. So they both hit. So would you give me the damage for both?
2 for rage damage, so I'll add 5. It's 5 on me for the first hit, so it's including rage damage, so 9. And then the other one is just a d6. 14 in total.
Well, I have to keep them separate because he has damage He has a damage reduction, so. So you actually he actually would take 1 point less than if I add it all up. Yeah, you guys. I guess for the 2 Goliaths, you would be thinking you have hammered this frail young man in such a way that it would have dropped a much bigger opponent, and yet he still seems to be coming at you, George. Zarg, you were outside with Irina. She has different tears streak her cheeks now. She looks at you in desperation. She says, "You won't do anything. They could die in there." And she tries to pull past you to go towards the doors where Renard and Ismark stand, and both of them bar her way.
Yeah, I wouldn't let her anyways. I would
Yeah.
pull on her.
Perfect.
No, lady. They are fine. They can handle this. You saw the size of their bodies. They are powerful, strong. And the dumb one has a smart pet, a brother named Pilfer.
I'm glad you qualified that when you said the dumb one, because
Right, the dumb one has a smart brother named Pilfer.
Yeah, well, the dumb one is the same. We have the exact same stats.
It does.
The dumb one.
But it is.
So-
I want you to know that Zarg accepts Pilford as part of the group.
I love it. So that's all that Zarg is doing. Yeah.
You know what? He actually looks over and fuck, you guys are gonna die. All right. Well, you know what? Zarg reaches out and he touches Irina and says, "Talos shall protect you, my lady," and I will cast Sanctuary on her.
Oh, love it. Awesome. And
You want me to link it so you know? I mean, it's
no, I know what it does. Yeah. So someone has to pass so someone that's watching may not know.
Yeah,
So
that's
what happens if someone wants to attack Irina? They have to first pass what's your DC?
they gotta make a Wisdom saving throw versus my DC, which is
Probably around 13. And if they fail, they have to attack someone else. If they succeed, then they can attack as normal. Perfect. Is Zarg going to do anything else?
No.
Okay, perfect. So you cast this spell on her. She actually recoils a bit at first, not knowing what you're doing, and then she feels the might and magic of Talos and wrap around her.
Yeah. I like to think there's a little bit of static and her hair kind of sticks up.
Yes, of course. Yes, her hair kind of rises up. Doru, right before your eyes, George and Vernak, you see the injuries you are inflicting on him slowly begin to heal. And he lunges at you again, George, and this time he's grappling at you with his claws. 21. So you need to make an athletics, opposed athletics roll, with a DC being 21. Yeah, he latches onto you, and so to break it from this point forward, it's right in the roller, the DC 13. If you want to break him off you, but now he's going to bite you. Ooh, nat 1. He misses. His face hammers against the chain of your on your chest. Kind of buffets him, and so he pulls back, still clutching onto you, hissing. And now it is Renard's turn.
Wait, so was that last attack a grapple or was it a damaging attack?
No damage. No damage. Yeah.
I was just wondering if I need to.
No. It's still. I just rolled the same.
Okay.
Thing. Yeah. No, you're good on the damage. Renard is still standing firm. Maybe he moves up here to get a better vantage so that he can fully report what happens. Callista, you see the injuries on this thing healing. Actually, no. So I'm going to do something in between this. Father Donovic just runs screaming from the room, not wanting to see what is happening here. So, Callista, it's your turn.
All right. Well, she's gonna take a shot with her short bow, and I'm going to use inspiration. And that was a waste of time.
Yeah, your arrow shatters against the back wall. You're trying not to hit George as this thing is clinging to him, and you see him just biting at the Goliath's face and neck.
She's going to move closer to the door.
The door was actually behind you.
Oh, I see. Then
Yeah.
I guess she's gonna stay there for the moment.
Perfect. George, you're up. You have this Doru is clinging to you, trying to get to your nice, soft, tender neck.
All right. So is it a strength save now, or is it athletics?
It is a DC 13 athletics to break.
Okay. Not that it matters because I get the same bonus.
Right.
No.
No. He's surprisingly strong as he pulls tighter and closer to you. Veranak, you're up.
All right. Oh, you know, I just forgot I had reckless attack. Whole time. Seeing that he's grappling, his Goliath friend Vernak is. I'm assuming this is gonna take my action, but he's gonna drop his shovels and take out his great axe.
Yeah. Oh, you can drop the shovels and get out your great axe all in the same turn. If you're just dropping them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they clad the
I don't know where
shovels.
to put them on.
The shovels clatter to the floor.
Right. I don't have an attack action, or
No, you do. You drop the shovels.
I'm
so
going to just make sure I have it. I should.
Are you gonna make it reckless? Because you're gonna tell them.
Yes.
All right. Make sure you tell them ahead of time, otherwise.
I'm going to reckless attack with my great axe. So I'll just switch my thing to advantage because that's what it is. And boom. Why did it roll 3 times?
I only see it once.
Oh, I have 3 virtual dice on my thing.
Oh yeah, don't pay attention to that. The virtual dice
Um,
broken. Yeah, and if you guys shut off your virtual dice, it'll actually roll up a lot quicker. Because I noticed that George and Veranak, when you roll, there's a delay.
Alright. I'll turn.
So yeah, so you 13, that will hit.
Yeah, that'd be 15 with rage damage.
Okay. Yeah, you should have severed his spine, but your axe barely cuts through his skin to his ribs. You split a couple of them. But as you pull your axe back, Veranak, for another blow, you can already see the flesh starting to knit back together. Zarg, are you doing anything?
I can't see through the door, so I'm just.
No, you just hear a lot of like what would be the sounds.
No, I meant like my figure can't. That's considered shadow, so where I am, I can't. I have to move.
Yeah, you would actually have to move in to see.
Yeah, I can't see anybody. I can see the people through the doorway, but I can't see anything. So I will just move Irina back one.
Yeah, and I think her brother would come out. Just as that, we do that.
Actually, if he comes out, when he turns around and faces me, I will point to my right side and say, "Behind me is Mark."
Okay, like, come down here.
Yeah. That way I'm on either side of them so I can, quote, protect them.
Perfect.
Whether I am or not is a different story. I'm just saying this is what I want.
You see the injuries that are upon Doru begin to knit, and broken bones start to crack and pop back into place. And cut flesh begins to mend itself. And it is going to try to savage you with a claw and then a bite. 15. That probably did. I don't think you have chainmail. That's on you, George. Does a 15 hit you? We're all waiting with anticipation.
I'm sorry. No, 15 does not.
Okay.
But
I thought he was still grappled.
Yeah, he's grappled. Yeah.
Oh,
prone or whatever.
He can grapple you with one hand and still claw at you with the
good
other.
point.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I just thought where the position I was in negated my armor.
No. That gets you. We're getting too minutia at that point. Rules are the rules.
Okay, but no, 15 doesn't hit me.
And a 14 doesn't either. He tries to bite you, and he's becoming enraged and frustrated that he can't get to that warm, sticky blood of George. We'll go to Renard. Renard asks you, Callista, is everything okay in there? You guys got this?
No, we need help.
Okay. He steps forward, and his eyes begin to. I'm not gonna flavor the spells because I don't want to. We'll just keep it simple. He is going to. A small bolt of lightning lances out from his outstretched finger past you, Callista, towards this thing grappling onto poor George. Let me see if it's on his draw. Yep. And it misses, and the electrical energy discharges on the wall behind him. And that would bring us up to Callista. You're up.
Callista yells at the two Goliaths. Can you find a way to stuff him back down the hole and close the door on him? And then shoots her short bow at him. Does a 15 hit?
15 does not hit. Your arrow just goes wide. You hear it as it shatters. Well, maybe not shatters, but strikes hard against the stone behind.
She's like, this is not good.
So, as she says that, George is just gonna give her the weirdest look.
Nice.
Well, I mean, she knows George is being held by this thing, but if they can manage to rip him loose and get him down the hole, maybe we can get out of this alive.
So George, you give her this strange look, and you still have this creature clinging onto you, trying to get at your throat. It's your turn.
Aha.
Yeah, you throw him off you. He hits hard against the wall. What were you gonna do? Sorry, my bad.
I was gonna see if I could throw him in the hole.
Oh yeah, you could try to do that. Let me do this. I will do an opposed, probably dex, to see if he gets thrown there. So if he beats your 21, then he doesn't go down the hole. No, he does not. So he slams hard against the wall, and as he tumbles back down, his footing, there's no footing there, there's no floor, and he hits the stairs and starts to tumble down them. Are you doing anything else, George? You have a bonus and a move action.
Can I close?
Nah.
No, I can't close the door.
Sure, I don't care. You can use your foot to maybe kick the trapdoor closed.
You want me to make a roll to see if I can do it, or?
Nah, I think it's pretty mundane for you to do that. Just get your foot over it, kick it shut. Vernak.
Latch it, Vernak. Find a way to lock it. Stick a shovel so we can't get it open.
He looks over at the broken lock.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why'd you put the lock back on, Vernak?
oops.
Well, use the shovel so we can't get it open. There's gotta be something.
Is there any sort of is the thing that the lock attached to still there?
So there's a couple of rings and a chain ran through it, and the chain was then locked, and that's what held the trapdoor closed.
I was gonna say I have a javelin I can put in.
You also think like Kalista said, if you slid this shaft of the handle of a shovel through the loops, you would it would potentially hold it.
I'll put one.
He's looking. He looks longingly at the shovels. But that's my shovel. That's my +1 shovel of smiting.
That's an honorable use of your shovels.
I'll put the shovels through the latch.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty easily for you to do that. You kind of put your weight down on this door. You can feel it kind of lift a little bit underneath you as you slide the shovel handle through it. And you doing anything else?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. And Zarg, you're still protecting the two children of the Burgermeister. You hear a wail below you, Vernak. But I'm still so hungry! And there's a shoving against the trapdoor. And you feel it kind of just... and the handle holds.
Tiny one starve.
So that will, unless you guys do anything else, that'll take us out of initiative right now, because Doru has now been trapped back down in the basement. So, Vernak, you put your weight down on this trapdoor. You feel it kind of does one of those things where even though you're a rather large Goliath, it comes up a little bit as he slams. Doru slams his body weight against it, and you slide the handle of one of your precious shovels through the loops of the that are kind of in the floor, kind of bolted into the floor, and then attached to the trap door. So it kind of rattles a bit as he pushes against it. You hear him wailing, lamenting that how hungry he still is. And you kind of stand up, Vernak. Renard is looking rather sheepishly from the door at the three of you. And then his eyes kind of trail to where, and then kind of those sparks are starting to kind of fade. And he looks to where this door, to this doorway, or this trap door.
George is going to look at Vernak and say, I don't think that hold long.
Well, let's get outside. Let's get away from this thing. Get the light.
Bernak agrees with both of them, and we'll start making his way out.
The chain
Father Donovic can deal with it.
The chain that Vernak broke, was that like a long piece of chain?
He didn't actually break the chain. He broke the lock that was binding the chain together.
Okay, so what's the length of the chain that was there?
Probably about 6 feet, maybe. You can get it kind of wrapped through a couple times, and then he ran. And Father Donovic must have put the lock.
Yeah. So can I rewrap the chain?
Yeah. I'm
gonna stand on the.
Okay, I was gonna say because you'd have to pull the shovel out to.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand on the gate door, pull the shovel out, and then rewrap the chain. And try and make it the best I can without.
Perfect. Give me a dex save, George. You pull up this chain from the floor.
My live dice. I'm like, where'd it go? Dex save?
Yeah.
$14.
Yeah. the trapdoor explodes outward as you go to step on it, and this creature grabs your legs and starts to pull you down into this cellar. And so that's what you would see, Vernac and Calissa. You would turn, and Renard, you see just Renard's eyes go wide as the Goliath gets yanked down.
Can I try and grab his hands?
Yes, you can. Because if he wasn't a Goliath and so big, I would have said no, but he's got a lot to pull down.
Alright, so was that a strength check?
Yeah. I think strength would be, we would reach. I would say strength or dex.
I'm assuming my
Are you,
range is out, or
are you
is it
relying on your speed, or are you relying on your strength? I think it would be a speed thing. Because this has happened
Dexterity?
fairly quickly. Dex. Give me a dex.
just a dex check or a dex save?
It is. I think it's like an attack. You're lunging out to grab George. Maybe with a shovel. Grab this.
I rolled a 14 for dexterity.
Yeah. So are you reaching out to grab him, or are you like giving the shovel to grab?
I'm reaching out to grab his hands.
Okay. You reach out, and there's one of those moments where the fingers brush across each other, and there's that second where you hold, and then poof, and George disappears from view down into the hole. Now, there's still light there because the torch is still sputtering and flickering down below. But George, I'm going to move you to a different part of this map where you are dragged down with Doru.
Oh, I told him to run.
You must keep better control of your pet, Callie.
Well, you're
Yeah,
not
we
there,
saw
so
that.
you don't get to say anything. You're outside.
No, but while the DM is busy, John shall talk because that's what he likes to do.
So me and Callista,
Fourth wall. God.
me and Callista see that.
Can I hold on a second, George? You can see where you are. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have light effects.
Get up. What's that?
I don't have so you can see all the way around it because you don't have dark vision, right?
No.
Can we?
All right.
I kind of look at Fernick. Maybe we could drive it off with torches.
All right.
As soon as you say that, Bernac, at the recommendation that you gave him for torches, I think he has some. Well, if he doesn't, well, yeah, he has torches.
Let me fix this. Tell me if you can. I'm gonna change something on the map, Charlie. That'll more accurately reflect what you would see, which is dynamic lighting. And so you can see down there.
Yeah, I can see the whole.
Can you see now?
Yeah, part of it dark. It's dim.
Oh, the whole map. I
Oh.
don't see my token.
Yeah. That's the thing. Both of these maps are on the same layer, so I can't change that without changing it for the whole thing. So what I'm gonna say is just for simplicity's sake, Charlie, you can only see within 20 feet normal vision of these stairs, and I'm gonna put a mark on here where the torch is.
Each box is like 5 feet, right?
Yeah. So this torch fell right here. So from centering from there, you can see 20. I think 20 feet is what a torch, and then 20 feet more of dim light. But yeah, you can see well enough where Doru is. That's the most important part. And right. Okay, let me see. Renard, like I said, has that shocked look on his face. And he'll probably step in the. Oops, shoot! I'm still drawing. Let me erase that. He's gonna step into the room, but he doesn't go any closer to that shattered trap door. Kalista, you're up.
It's like, he pulled George down. I thought we had him trapped. She's not. Oh gosh, she's not gonna go down there. There's no way.
Listen, even if... Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't go down there either.
She's
Others,
not the brave
others might
person
throw
in
some
the world.
shade at
Sorry.
you, Kalista, but I actually think that's common sense.
She's
George.
just gonna ready an action to shoot her bow if Doru comes up, and she's gonna be just by the door, ready to run. But yeah, she's gonna ready her action to shoot her bow.
Okay, try to get...
Oh,
It's just like
so she was all about making fun of Zarg not going in there, and now she's I'm not going
Zarg
downstairs.
did nothing.
He at least
She
made it in the
tried.
building.
George, you're
Now she's
yanked...
acting like a defensive person.
You're yanked down these stairs, but oddly, this thing lets you go, and he's just kind of hunkered next to you, and he's looking at you, licking his blood-soaked face, your blood that is just coated his chin, and he licks his lips hungrily as it looks at you. This was once Doru. Your turn.
All right, can I make a break for the torch? I'm gonna disengage.
Yep.
Engage and head towards the torch.
Yeah, you can get to the torch and you can actually pick it up.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you have the torch. Move yourself over to the torch. Perfect. I'm gonna get rid of the... There, get rid of that. Perfect. So you did. So you have your maul in one hand and the torch in the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And that brings us now to Vernak.
Alright. Vernak is going to look at Lista and Renard and say, before doing this, Vernak says, "No man left behind," and head down the steps.
Take a torch, Vernak. Light a torch.
He will also light a torch because he will not ignore Lista's knowledge,
Her
and
wisdom.
brain power. Wisdom.
Her brain power. All right.
Somebody who has a brain.
Cool. So what are you gonna do? So you light this torch. It sputters in your hand. You hold your axe in the other.
Mm-hmm.
Run away.
I'm gonna head down. Well, okay, I'm gonna point out, character-wise, Vernak has been traveling with you for a while. You are his friend. That is not something Vernak would do.
You're stupid, but you're not that stupid, Brian.
You know what, Brian? You play your character any way you want.
Thank you.
Don't let your pops push you into saving yourself.
I'm just saying.
That's the
You don't
meta.
know Vernak,
That's the
yeah.
meta game pigeon going off.
You don't know Vernak, so...
All right. So what is? But guess what? I don't care. I want to know what he's doing though, because we are trying to play a game here. Vernak,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Go down the stairs.
All right. Perfect. So you go down 5. Move you over here.
Oh, this is...
So you're at the top of these stairs. You've moved 10 feet of your movement. As you look down, you can see that, yeah?
Yep.
Perfect. What do you wish to do?
Okay, so do I see...
Yeah, you would see Doru where Doru is. You would see George holding his maul and the torch there. The torch kind of sputters back to life as you pick it up off the ground, George.
How far is he from me, like George? How far am I from him? Like,
So there's like this rail that runs down
Okay.
these stairs. So he's on the other side of the rail. You can see through it. You can see him standing there, obviously facing towards Doru. All right, Doru.
Guru doesn't see me.
Oh, he sees you. You're standing there with a torch. And he's just kind of hunkered down, and he's like, like an animal, like he's attacked, and he's just like kind of like, sometimes it'll, like a cat, how it'll play with its prey for a little bit, and give it that little sense like, oh, you're gonna get away, little mouse. Oh no, you're not. And he just looks at you, and this sly, evil smile spreads across his face, and he goes, "Don't worry, I'm going to feed on you too." And he kind of laughs maniacally.
You're there. The railing's there. I can see through the railing.
Can we cue up the Jeopardy music because Virnek is running quickly out of time?
Alright. I'm going to go into my backpack.
Yeah, you're out of time, man. So you use your action to light a torch. You have movement. Okay. You have movement and bonus left. You use 10 feet of your movement to get through the hole in the trapdoor to the stairs. So you have about 20 feet of movement.
Strategy-wise, I would know this is not that smart. Like, going down there is not that smart. But at least I have a layout of where George's door is.
But thankfully, you are a barbarian, which is raging, and your friend, your companion, the closest thing that you've had that walks on 2 feet was just ripped down those stairs by this terrible, evil creature.
I want you to know that Pilfer is scampering up the stairs.
Yeah. Pilfer goes, "Don't worry, brother. I'll bring back help."
Okay, so you have to make a good point. I am raging, in which case I'm not thinking, and I am going to charge.
Yes.
Doru.
Thank you. That is such an A-B conversation. I love it. And you cannot make an attack, but you're probably ready to.
Yep.
Excellent.
Pilfer, come over here.
Who's seeing their way out of the conversation?
Zarg, you hear Renard yell in panic. Again, I am not going to try to do the Renard voice. And he's like, "Zarg, you need to get in here." I don't know what a panic word that you guys would have decided on.
That doesn't sound like Renard. I'm going to ignore it.
Rotten cabbage! Rotten cabbage! Rotten cabbage! He keeps yelling the panic word.
No, our panic word is four.
Yeah, no. Fresh water!
Who drinks fresh water, my friend?
Exactly, that's why it's the panic word. So Zarg, I feel like we're cheating you because you're just out there guarding these two these two
You are not cheating me. I am doing exactly what Zarg has to do.
So. All right. You come running down the stairs, and as you're running down the stairs, your axe in one hand, the torch in the other, kind of brandishing it. Doru leaps at you, tries to claw your eyes out.
Birnak catches him, and then he drops the dagger and stabs him, and it goes right through his heart, and he dies.
Yeah, and he just rakes his both his claws across your face, failing to find purchase in your eyes, but you're still gonna take 4 slashing because you're raging.
Gotcha.
And then he tries to feast upon this Goliath's warm, juicy, hot blood. 13.
Nope.
Yeah. You are able to kind of just shove him off of you. And he hits the ground and springs back up on his feet and hisses at you. Your blood just kind of dripping from these dirt-caked fingernails. And we go to Renard. Oh, jeez. Renard. I don't want to get Renard killed. But he yells back out the doorway. "I mean it, Zarg! Really bad trouble in here!"
He's not going to come help you.
And he goes to the...
Can I respond back to him?
Yeah, you certainly can. It's free action.
Using Dharmaji to yell as loud as I can, I yell, "Get the holy water from the font!"
Oh, yes. So rather than going there, he runs out here. 5, 10, 15, 20. He runs up to Father Donovic and he very quickly says, "Where's the font? Where's the holy water?" And there's that moment of hope and then it quickly dissipates as Father Donovan, he's just wailing, and he looks around. There is no font within this chapel.
Donovan's just lying. He already told us he could give us holy water.
Yes.
Kill him, Bernard. Kill him. Kill him.
Calista!
All die. Burn the church.
Calista. I'm just gonna go where that's where Renard goes, and I'm gonna move this right.
If I was in Zarg's position, that's exactly what I would do right now. Take my torch or whatever and light the church on fire.
You don't think that Zarg is waiting for the right reason?
Oh my gosh, you guys!
Don't you worry, my friend.
You guys are killing me.
Love
You guys
it.
are killing me.
Goliath,
Calista, you're up.
Goliath grease will just help the fire go.
Yeah.
Callista's like, Renard, what are you doing?
He yells back over his shoulder. He says, "I'm looking for the holy water."
Oh, jeez.
And he disappears through the doorway, and you hear him run down the hall into the chapel.
She's just like, George, Vernac, there's nothing I can do to help you. Because she knows.
Why are you telling us?
Well, because she's leaving.
Because she's out the door, she says
She's
this.
out the door going, a vampire's got George and Vernac trapped downstairs. Renard is looking for holy water, but
Yeah.
there's no way out. I don't know if we can help
You
them or
see
not.
Calista come out out of the doors. I'll let Carol describe how she looks.
Yeah, Carol, how does that look?
She's pretty distraught. She's really upset. She doesn't want to leave them behind, but she doesn't see any other choice because there's no surviving it. And she's just, her eyes are all wild and kind of crazy, and her hair's every which way. And she's like, "There's a vampire in there. He's got George and Vernac. He's got him downstairs. I couldn't go to help. I can't do anything about a vampire."
Ah, so you're gonna leave your friends there, eh?
I don't see you down there.
They're not
Don't
my
give
friends.
me any trip.
Jesus.
Ouch.
Wow, that's a burn and a half right there.
We'll remember this.
No, you won't, because you didn't hear me.
Yeah, it's true.
I like to think I collected Pilfer's way out.
Except that Pilford is like hanging off of Callie's cloak, and he's slowly making his way
It's
up.
on her cloak. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I've got Pilfert with me.
Well, at least
Yeah.
you'll save.
He's trying to figure out why he keeps yelling, saying, "Hey, you all need to get back in there," but none of you are listening to him. George, you're up. That was well done, Calista. I love it.
George.
Inspiration, by the way, Carol.
Thank you.
Charge forward with the torch leading so you can see.
Yeah. It throws enough light. You don't have to like literally hold it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna swing my maul.
Yeah. So you would have to drop the torch to do that. Your maul is two-handed.
Oh, what is actually what's his reaction to the torch coming closer to him?
What he
Actually,
actually probably the look on his face. Probably the look on his face is like a wolf would have when dinner is coming to them, rather than the wolf having to go to the dinner. So yeah, it's like, oh, here it comes. Here comes dinner time. Ding ding
Yeah,
ding 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 ding.
I was just thinking fire, you know.
Yeah.
Fire.
You don't see that he doesn't appear that he's afraid of this fire at all.
So I'm gonna drop the torch and swing my maul.
Perfect. Yeah, move your character to where you are, please. Perfect. Yes. You hammer him. You would see many of the injuries that he took earlier in the fight. Most of them have healed are on their way to healing as you drive your maul. You hear several, like 3 or 4 of his ribs just snap as your maul catches him in the side. And he just grins maniacally at you, oblivious to the hurt you just gave him. You doing anything else, George? I love it. Every time I ask that question, I feel like I'm asking a trick question. It's like
Do I still take a defensive stance?
no, that you would. That's an action. You would to do that.
So okay. So if I move away from my, it's an attack of opportunity.
Yep. If he so chooses to use his reaction to do that, yes. So you've gone, what, 10, 5, 10, 15 feet. So you have 15 feet remaining.
Right.
This is so great. I love this.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna move myself on the other side of this pillar. Not that it'll do much, but it'll at least.
Yeah. So what you see is, so this I didn't describe the cellar because you kind of got here really quickly. But yeah, these rotten timbers are holding up what is the sagging floor of the church above. So yeah, you move over there. Excellent. Yeah, so he does not get an attack of opportunity because you're still within his threat range. Perfect. I love it. And Virnak.
Okay.
Or Vernak, sorry.
Vernak is going to. I don't know how to put this. Technically, stab the torch into the guy's face, like.
Yeah. So that's an improvised weapon. So I'll allow you to use your strength, but you cannot get your proficiency bonus. But if you hit him, you'll not only do so you're gonna do 1d4 plus your strength, but you'll also do an additional fire damage. So you do hit. So that's
what's damage again?
1d4 plus 3, and then the fire would be 1d6.
My rage goes on top of this, correct? Or
Yep. Yeah, you get the rage still. Because you're just... It doesn't matter what's in your hand, man. You're hitting harder with it.
And then 1d6.
Yeah. So you're going to do 4 points of...
And I'm going to tell George to run up the stairs.
And you see the fire just kind of licks across these molded, torn clothes. And you see the flesh starting to bubble where you struck him with the torch. Seems to do much more damage than the torch itself. Zarg stands stalwart in defense of them. Ismark looks at you, Zarg, and says, with his sword still in his hand, and he says, keep my sister safe. And he starts to run into the church.
Zarg says, no, wait, don't go.
Yes, exactly. A very weak kind of try to grab him, but no. Yeah. And he probably gives you a look, Callista, that says it without words, coward. As he disappears through the doors. So let me see. 5.
Can I yell something too in my turn?
Yeah, certainly. It's your turn.
Hell yeah! So I'm gonna use my thermagy again since it increases my already boisterous voice 3 times, and I yell, "Renard, bring out the priest!"
Oh.
Yeah, where is the priest?
He is inside the chapel. Unfortunately, delivering sad news to Renard. Yeah, perfect. I love it. We go back to the top of the order and back to the basement. You see injuries starting to heal on this creature. And he just says, and again, with kind of that little giggle, like someone that's excited, like on their birthday. And he goes, after I feast upon you, I am going to feast upon your friends. And he leaps upon you, Vernak, trying to tear at you with his claws and bite your throat, or at your throat.
Okay.
Hey, Katie. 16.
That does hit.
You are going to take 3 slashing damage. and he's going to try to bite you as well for a nat 20.
I use Stone's endurance.
Oh, there goes your other nut, buddy. I'm sorry.
And he bites you in your groin. No, he scratches at you, and as he does, as you're trying to push him off, you feel the fangs bite into you. But yeah, use your stone endurance, please.
Oh shit, dude, that's fucking.
No.
Get 14 of it.
14, so that's 9. So you'll totally negate the first part, which is good.
But I'd still take 16 necrotic.
No. So you would then take... Oh, that's a good question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first roll. So it's going to be the 9 piercing and then the 4 necrotic. Oh, wait, no. The necrotic's the 11 and the 5, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh. So... so you're going to...
I take 15 necrotic.
15 necrotic damage, and you cannot reduce that, I believe, right?
I can't.
You cannot.
And I have to reduce my... Your
hit point maximum is reduced by 15.
It goes right down my maximum hit points is now 15, guys.
Yeah, and you just took 15 necrotic as well.
Okay.
What does he have to roll on the crit table now? How's that
Is he still alive?
He does, but I just feel like this is.
I'll do it. It's part of the game, Will.
It is part of the game. It is part of the game. Thank you, John.
I'll do it.
Thank you, John, for keeping me honest, because I was just going to move on and say this is already bad enough. I just
want to say that Zarg did not want the crit roll system. He knows how bad it is. I'm just saying.
In a very twisted, sick way, I love it, and I'm gonna love. So what I need you to do, the location is already it's the body, because he's biting at you around your throat.
Yep.
So what I need you to do for me, Brian, Virnak, is give me a D100 roll, and just so you know, lower is better.
32.
32, not bad. You'll be all right on this one, I think. Let me see, piercing damage to the body.
Double damage.
John, you are an evil guy.
How is he even alive?
But wouldn't I have taken, with rage, wouldn't I have taken half the 15? Because I blocked the first part with stone.
Oh, you know something? You make a very valid point. So you would have originally only taken... So the 9 would have been 4. You would have reduced it to 4. And the 4 would have been 2. So it would have been 6. And how much did you reduce in all?
15. I reduced my hit point maximum down to 15.
No. But your stone's
damage?
endurance reduced 14.
Yes.
So that would have taken 8 of the necrotic, which would have left 7.
So I only would have taken 7 damage?
8. Wait,
8 damage?
Math. That's why we play role-playing games, because we don't want to be engineers. Oh shoot! But actually, what's his base damage that he does on a bite? It's 1d6 plus 3, so he's gonna automatically do 6 points of damage to you, which I guess he already did. Yeah, he did that anyways. So that's reduced.
You know what? He reduces all the damage. He takes none.
Oh.
If you take half and it would be half, and then it goes up against his being super tough, the 14. So you.
Well, he takes damage before the stone's endurance, and then he uses the stone's endurance to then reduce whatever's left.
Right.
So you would take.
So he takes half of the 9, half of the 4, half of the 11, half of the 5.
No, he can't reduce necrotic damage. He can only reduce bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Gotcha.
So you would take
total wonder.
Well, the necrotic.
6.
So 6
Only the
piercing.
five.
Comes off.
Only 5 necrotic. Oh no.
6 plus 16. Wow, this is like too many chefs in the kitchen.
Sorry.
Hold on,
I'll
guys.
go away.
Quiet. I got this. I can figure this out. So 16 total damage. You reduce. Wait, 16, 22. You reduce 14 of that through your stone's endurance, which leaves what? 8. So you will take 8 necrotic. Your hit point maximum is reduced by 8. And you take 8. So you actually get 7 hit points back, and your hit point maximum goes up by 7.
So I get 8 hit points back? Is that
7?
7?
7, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because that makes you not quite as bad off as you were.
You're not as dead as you thought you were.
Good catch. Good catch.
So you took 8 necrotic, and that makes geez, what is going on here?
What did 32 do to me though?
Yeah, what did the 32? That's
Yeah. I'm just adding the. Oh my gosh, I got something going on with my
Don't forget that.
my mouse. I have one of those fancy mouse, and for some reason it thinks I want to use hotkeys. So every time I click something, it keeps putting me down to the bottom of the screen. So I apologize.
It's typing right to myself, so it makes me fight this vampire.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna reload my roll 20. Be right
well,
back.
we'll take this pause and time to have this interesting decision made.
Yes.
What will Zard do? What will Callie do? This is all
Will
brought to you
Burnett
by
die?
D&D Beyond. Your characters at your
Bill
fingertips.
Renard.
Also brought to you by Roll20, a place to have maps and stuff that distracts your players from role playing. Roll20. We don't like theater of the mind.
So, John, I'm thinking you probably shouldn't be the hype man for roll 20.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that bad?
Just calling it that way. But
are they
thank you.
sponsoring us? I'm gonna stick with
No,
it.
no,
they're
they're
not. So yeah, I'm just
we're
gonna
good.
stick with
We're
it.
good. We're good.
That's good.
I'm not too worried about that. Yeah.
I meant to say Roll20. It's awesome.
All right, let me get my character sheet back up for Doru
20, isn't it?
because I had to reload.
Roll 20, saving you from math.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Has it really though?
It's not that much because all the special abilities doesn't. We'll have to figure out how to get that.
Unless you do something like I do, where I program it all in, so I don't have to.
Which requires a great deal of math.
Yeah,
It takes a lot of time.
It takes more math knowledge than I have.
So I guess if George and Vernak were really, he looks nearly as healthy as he did when he first came up through the trap door and you hammered him with the shovel and maul. And let's see, so you got a 32, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right, so that is. Oh. His so it's not your neck. You're a big guy and you actually shove him off, but you feel that warm blood run down across your abdomen as his fangs sink deep into your stomach.
At least he still has his other nard.
Though he does not quite able to pierce your abdomen.
He's got 2 extra neighbors.
So I need you to make a con save, please.
Did you just say he had his extra Renard still?
No, he's about
24.
Jeez. So bad. Oh, that's a good con save.
Yeah, it is.
All right, yeah.
5, so I can roll 19.
Don't
Yeah.
worry. A gut wound means you'll die in like 5 to 10 minutes. No problem.
I'm dying anyways.
All of a sudden, you smell what is shit coming out of your stomach holes.
Okay. And then I need you to make so you pass that one, so you don't lose consciousness.
Okay.
Wow, and he told you to roll low. I would have rather just lost a nut than.
So now you need to make a strength save.
Oh, you got this. You got this, Goliath.
Yeah.
Plus, you're raging, so you get advantage on any strength checks.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to roll again.
Don't worry, man. I got your back too.
No, you got it. You hit the
Yeah,
save.
it's better. Yeah.
yeah, perfect.
Right. So even though your legs feel weak, you are able to. You're made of sterner stuff because you are a Goliath. So you will not suffer any further penalties as a result of this brutal attack. So that's it. You actually got out pretty lucky. And Renard. So you said you yelled for Renard to drag the priest out.
I did.
Yeah. So he does. He has him roughly by the collar, and Donovic, Father Donovic, is weakly fighting against him, but he seems like a man broken, his will lost, and he kind of tosses him down the stairs at your feet.
Well,
Zarg.
that's exactly what I was thinking, but sure, that works out too. I will look down at him and then look back up. Oh wait, is it my turn?
No, but it's shifting to your turn after Kalista. Kalista. Just want to make sure I get you on the screen.
Yeah, it's just like, well, you managed to save the father anyway.
Whoosh, right over her head. He falls to the ground at your feet, Zarg, crying. George, you're up.
Okay.
This is fun. I'm literally having to zigzag back and forth between these two screens.
I'll move myself
Thank God. Roll 20's easy to use.
right behind
Doru.
Doru.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't give us.
No, I'm not using the flanking rules, so.
Okay.
Which is both it sucks, but it's actually good too because then you don't have to worry about getting flanked. So this game is going to be brutal enough. I don't really want to.
Oh, I can tell.
Yes.
Yes, I think with that hit, George, you just might kill him. You just feel his spine shatter underneath your maul as you bring it down as he's trying to further feast upon Vernac. And he just it's like as though he doesn't acknowledge it at all. Vernac, unless you're doing anything else, George.
Use my attack action.
You have a bonus and the rest of your move. You only use 5 feet of movement.
Right. I can't try and throw him off as a bonus action, right?
You could have done that as part of your action. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It would be really nice is you could batted him like with your maul.
Right.
Which I totally would let you have done. That was an awesome roll. Do you want to retcon that and say that when you smashed him,
Try and smash him off.
Yeah. So give me a D12 roll. Actually, no. Just give me a D6 roll. Just straight up D6. Don't add anything to it. Boom. You slam him, and he hits off this wall here, then careens off of this pillar, and then lands there, roughly. Not prone mechanically, but definitely not standing full upright. Well done. Vernac, you're up. Oops, sorry.
All right.
I'm gonna pick up my torch. I can do that still, right? As a bonus action.
Your torch, I believe, is over here, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
How many rounds of combat we've been in? I'm trying to figure out.
That's what I was going to tell you. Make sure you keep a track of your rounds, Vernac, because you have 10 rounds of rage. I think this is probably only the 5th, maybe. I honestly haven't been keeping track because most combats don't last that long. But I guess when you're level 2 fighting a vampire, you would guess based on this creature, it can go longer.
Right.
That's eloquent.
Yeah, I'm a wordsmith.
When you said that, you just trailed off.
Yeah. I'm a prophet too of the obvious.
You know, it's like what? It takes longer. Yeah.
What do you want to do, Brian? What's Vernac gonna do? It's a dire situation. You definitely see that George is breathing heavy. you are feeling weakened by this thing's attack. You know, teeth in skin, bad.
Knowing, even in rage now, that
Oh shoot.
Vernak and George stand a chance. Vernak is going to tell George to basically run up the stairs, and then I'm going to hold my action. And I guess if you want a trigger to it, when that thing goes, or Doru goes moving towards George, or attack George.
Okay, perfect. So you hear that, George. Are you giving any kind of inclination that you're going to actually do what Vernak says and run up the stairs?
No.
Okay, so you see that by his stance and how he's holding his maul, he does not look as though he's going to run up the stairs. So I just want to say that, Vernak, because I want to give you that option to change what Vernak may do, if at all.
Vernak's going to retreat up the stairs.
Okay.
You called my character stupid.
Are you disengaging, Vernak?
Yeah, I
Okay.
will disengage.
Okay, so he lunges at you but misses, and you make your way up the stairs. So you can 5, 10, 15. You get to the top of the stairs. Let me move you over there.
Ooh.
15. Just as you're getting to the top of the stairs, you see Ismark coming through the door, sword drawn, and he looks at you and he says, "What of the other one?"
Hold on a second, I'm trying to adjust my screen. George down. Blocked by. Do I know his name? Do I know the name's Doru?
Yeah, you know Doru. Yeah,
Alright.
it's clearly Father Donovic's son.
George down, blocked by Doru.
You can see that
Vernak
Ismark.
badly
Yeah,
wounded.
you can see that Ismark is definitely confused. Not confused, but conflicted. He looks. Well, what are you gonna do? You have 15 more feet of movement, Vernak. Are you gonna move past Ismark to the door?
Yes.
Okay, so continue your movement, and I'll continue, and then I'll
I have. Wait, 1 second. I
do
saw
what
that.
Ismark is doing.
Okay, I figured out my whole screen problem. Boop.
Yeah.
Or do you want me to move outside the door?
No, yeah, it's fine. So
Okay.
you get to there. Ismark looks conflicted, and he looks at the he probably steps here and looks down, and he yells, "George, don't be a fool! Get up here!" And he starts following you out. Oh, actually, no, I think he'll hang there for a minute, waiting for you to come up the stairs. Zarg.
Zarg reaches down, grabs brother Donovich
Donovic.
by the face, grabbing his chin, and kind of looks down at him. You are an insult to all priests and clerics. You brought evil into your house. It is not worth even keeping it anymore. We should burn it to the ground. Your son is lost. You know this boy. Get up. Help us put him down.
You can see how conflicted he is. He is shaking his head no.
If he's still crying or blubbering as Zarg.
Oh yeah, he's a mess. He's
yeah.
a total
I
mess.
smack him in the face.
Yeah, it stops him for a second. Maybe brings a little bit of sanity back to him.
Your boy is gone, dead.
And your words kind of drive in. Give me a persuasion roll, Zarg.
I am not a persuasive person. But I will continue to hit him. Until
Maybe
he doesn't back out.
or maybe give me intimidation then.
No, they're for the same.
Yeah, but you can choose whichever one you want to roll because it is kind of intimidating what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna use intimidation.
Yeah.
No, it's literally the same.
Yeah.
Roll. I'm also gonna probably use. Yep, I'm definitely gonna use my inspiration since I don't like sitting there.
So one of the things about
A 16, my friend.
nice, yeah. You see like maybe the rational man that was once Father Donovic comes returns, but it's maybe after not just one slap. Like you give him a couple of few good ones.
Yeah.
And his face is all red, and you can already see where it's starting to bruise. His pale, pallid skin, and he looks sadly back to the church, and his head dips, and he says, "I can't do it. I cannot do it. Yes. I feel that he is still my son." And he starts to cry. But you get a sense as he just collapses in utter despair that he probably will not stop you from doing what must be done, but he himself cannot do it. So that's probably the closest you're going to get to him saying, "Yeah, do it, burn."
Yeah, no,
the
that's
bitch.
fine. When he falls back down, Zarg will unceremoniously just kind of like
Toss him aside.
drop him onto the ground.
Yeah, you got to toss him off to the side
Yeah,
and take care of business.
That is weakness, and I do not deal with weakness.
Yeah, Irina kneels down next to him and starts to say some comforting words. And you hear her say something like, "Father Donovan, you know it is best. It is best for him. That is not your son. Not anymore." Perfect. I love it. Zarg, if you can receive inspiration, sir, please do. And George, sorry I missed it. I would like to give you inspiration for being so fucking stubborn that you're going to stay in that damn cellar knowing it's going to get you killed. Yeah. I am going to give you inspiration because god damn you, man. That is the warrior that you said George is, and you're proving it.
You should get it because Brother Pilford ran out. That was
Pilford is still not seen, I don't think, at this point as he's making his way up onto Callie's shoulder.
He did say he was the smart one.
Yeah, I hope George gets out, but if George doesn't get out for some reason, it's going to be great having Brother Pilford with us because it's like...
Yes. We are back to the top of the order, and near all of this creature's wounds heal. Though the puckered skin where he was burned, it's kind of lightening a bit, but it does not look as though it was healing, quite as well as the other injuries that he received. And it turns on you slowly, almost like a predator, or predatorily like a cat. And cat there's bud. The cat.
Cat bud, just for you guys. Yes. Sorry.
Tell your cat, John. If your cat can stop smiling at us, that would be great.
Yeah.
Blowing us a kiss.
Billy just tripped. See how he tripped?
Leaps at you, George, and it is going to try to feast upon this Goliath.
Come on, George, you got it.
Yeah, of course he does. And let me see.
Take him out, George.
It's sad whenever I see you roll a 10 for damage, because that's like so much damage, but to him, it's nothing. He's just going to regenerate that every day. Metagaming, it's just...
13 is going to miss you, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Claws at you, and as you kind of duck and bring your maul up to defend yourself and maybe even make a swing at him that drives him back, he lunges again at you, dipping below the maul and going for 19.
And that's the one that, yeah.
Oh.
And so it leaps past you, and you're at chainmail, yeah?
Yeah.
And he scampers up along your side, and you try to reach up and grab him with your hand to throw him off. And that's when his teeth sink down into the trap of your where your trapezoid meets your neck, and you take 7 piercing and 8 necrotic, and it would reduce your max hit points by 8, which would give you 7 hit points. Yeah, you fall unconscious. Don't you have that? Oh wait, no, you don't have the thing that brings you up. That's half orcs.
Half orcs have it.
Yeah, so you are brought to 0 hit points. And okay, so if you would make that adjustment, as your body falls, he feasts upon your blood, and then hungry with that, he runs up the stairs, just howling with glee. Ismark, seeing this, begins to run
Yeah, you
in
know.
fear.
Please.
And as he runs through the door, and this is kind of all happening simultaneously, Vernak, you see the color has faded from his face. This brave son of the Burgermeister says, "Just run, you fool! Your friend is lost." And he runs past you, and you hear in the doorway. You see the hands, the fingertips coated in blood, grab the edge of the door, and the head slowly comes around. It's just red with blood and crimson, and it says, "You're going to be next." And that will be Doru's turn. Renard.
I don't like that.
Renard, shoot. Let me see what kind of spells this guy's got. He has something that burns.
He does have stuff.
He does have stuff that burns.
He has firebolts left for days.
Yeah, I kind of reskinned his firebolt as more of a lightning bolt.
Oh, you let him have it now as a new? Oh, that's what he cast? I thought he cast Wish.
No, I think it's no. He cast like a light. It was firebolt, but I kind of reskinned it as a.
So he didn't cast Witch Bolt yet.
No, he did not.
Which means he...
Yeah, so I think Renard's eyes. You start to, they go from that reddish glow that they normally have to it kind of mixes and darkens and then lightens to this iridescent blue, and there's almost like this spark of energy as he starts to chant, and his hair starts to rise upon his head, and he is holding some sort of arcane magic as we move to Callista. Ismark comes running out of the church doors, and he just is just going, run, and it's your turn, Callista.
Does but we can't see anything about what's going on inside.
No.
You
probably would have heard Ismark yell, "Your friend George is lost." He was yelling loud. You probably would have heard that.
Let's see. She's the smart one. It won't help her.
Yes.
She's like,
That's all I
burn
need.
this place.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah, we gotta burn this place. Our only hope. But she doesn't really have anything to burn it with.
Don't you have any? Oh, you only had the one torch.
I only had the one torch.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yep.
Yeah. She wasn't carrying a full kit, when she was scooted off into oblivion here.
Oh, that is true. We won't.
Well, no.
We won't ask where the torch came from, Callie. Don't worry.
I can reasonably see her having one.
It was probably from George's pack.
Yeah, probably.
Secretly, Callie's like, man, I hope George dies because I took a few things of his. All right. Excellent, Callie. But I would like to know, what would you like to do? You have a move, your bonus, and your action.
I guess real quick she's going to say, Zard, what are you going to do? Are we going to burn this place down? She's going to move away from it.
Yeah, do what you must do.
Definitely going to move back.
All right. I'm going to resize
Getting
this
ready
now.
to... Her ready to action is to run like hell if this thing comes out. That's her ready to action.
I appreciate that you guys are adopting my colloquial term for Doru, which is thing, creature. Cease being Doru.
Yeah.
Perfect. George, this thing is upon you, and you feel it sucking the life energy from you. You feel the warm blood. It just licks at it, and the last thing you hear before you pass from this world is it whispering in your ear, "You taste the vine." And George, you die.
It's gonna make me sick.
And then the last thing you hear is, "Goodbye, brother."
No, that's like
His brother.
Pilford is yelling in Callista's ear, "Run, girl! Run!" No, he's not.
But somehow Callista has this vague feeling that maybe she really should just keep running.
Vernac, you do feel this tugging near your ear, your hair, where it's kind of matted and greasy. And you look down. If you look down quickly, because you're like, "What is that?" And you see that it is Pilford.
Pilfer. Here, and she's got a pocket or something that he can hide out in.
Yeah, he drops down into the pocket. Vernac, this thing grabs the jambs of the door that you kicked in not too long ago, and it's just looking greedily at you, face covered in crimson blood.
Are the doors open? The front doors?
Yeah, the doors are wide open.
So I can see outside.
Yep, you can see what you see. Oh, wait, you can't see outside. Feel free to grab your token and just shift it to the outside, and it'll show you what you see.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not moving outside, but yeah, I'll move that out. I wanted to know if it was daytime or not.
It is, yeah. It's late morning.
It's high noon.
Right.
Alright.
Did we miss Renard's turn? I think we did, because you can still go, but I'm just going to do Renard's thing.
Yeah, Renard needs to move away from the door, because that is not where Renard belongs.
Oh, no. Renard's turn was, he began to chant. That's right.
He could have moved, though, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think Renard has learned to not be at the front, so he probably
The vampire's at the door directly one square above me.
Yep.
The door's open here.
Yeah, you kicked that door right out, almost off its hinges.
I'm gonna yell to everyone telling them to back away. I'm gonna grapple the vampire. Like, kind of lift up in my hands, like, put my arm around and lift it up.
You're gonna grapple the vampire?
Yeah.
I still have a couple rounds of rage left.
He has a death wish.
Perfect, I love it. So that would be at advantage. You would give me your athletics, and it would be opposed by Doru's athletics.
Advantage?
Yeah, because you're raging. Ooh, that is going to be tough. Let's see what happens. No, this young man, or this thing that was once Doru, is strong, but not as strong as a raging barbarian Goliath.
And then, with my movement, I'm gonna move outside the.
Oh, because you're gonna carry him. Yeah, you can carry him up to.
So I'm gonna carry him.
Yeah, it's based on his carry weight.
Yeah.
I mean, how much does he weigh?
Oh,
I count as a large.
he's a Goliath, man. He counts
Like,
as large. He's like a horse.
Alright, so I'm gonna carry him.
He can
out.
easily carry Doru.
Assuming people have heeded my word, I'm gonna carry him out down the steps.
Yeah, maybe there's that little memory that you have in your head, like, wait a second, vampires, daylight. They said daylight is.
I was just going out for early when I jabbed a torch.
Yeah. So just go out as far as you want to, Brian, and I'll move Doru there.
Assuming everyone's backing away. I said down the steps.
Right,
It'd
like,
technically be where the priest is.
Technically, all this action is happening together, so yeah.
It'd be technically, I would go right where the priest is. Since the priest is
Yeah, well, he was actually tossed aside by Zarg, so I'll put him there.
Then yeah, I'd be right there.
Perfect. So you got Doru right at the top of the stairs, right roughly where Ismark is. Though Ismark is at the same time moving away from this thing. So yeah, you have this thing in this like bear hug, still holding your axe. Maybe you could probably do it with one hand, actually. Of course, you couldn't use your axe because it's two-handed.
Yeah.
Perfect. Zarg, he drags Doru.
No longer on the chart. Sure.
Yeah, there you go. We knew we'd get Zarg into this somehow. So he drags this vampire out from inside the church to the front, the stoop. Your turn, bud.
How is how is the creature reacting?
Yeah. So what you were told is sun will that they cannot venture into sunlight, but something isn't right. Doru's, maybe there's a little bit of like a shimmer or something around his skin, but nothing more.
So what I'll do is, I don't know if I can do it, but I want to step back because I don't want to be right on top of that. And I want to can we make Irina move back too? Can I like put my arm out? And
yeah. So Ismark, Donovic, and Irina are not in the initiative because they're really not combatants at this point.
Right.
So they'll just move naturally through the initiative. So you can move her here.
Yeah, right there. At least so that she's between Renard and I, so that he can get. Yeah. And then I will hold my hand out, but I'll be looking at the father. Well, Father Donovich, but I'm going to call him Brother Donovich
because.
And I will yell once again, "Your son is no more. Talos demands retribution for this evil spawn of death."
Yeah, he's crawling away this way, just wailing.
I may use an inspiration. Now,
boom. So you bring guiding radiant damage down upon Doru.
Yeah. A bolt of bluish lightning launches from my hand, smashing into him.
It just burns across his flesh, blistering it, and it just starts to sear away, showing the muscle and tendon below as it just burns down along the side of his body. You do not see the flesh starting to heal and knit itself as a result. Lovely.
Then I say, Renard.
Yes. And that is, I think, when Renard unleashes his magic. He has this slender, like almost dry, withered stick, and from it leaps out this blue lightning. He's going to cast Witch Bolt. Oh, yeah. What? Yeah, it lances past. Bismarck is probably scampering down this way, out of the way. So it hits.
Can I give Renard my inspiration?
Actually, he has inspiration. Let me use it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to use this stuff. Like, I don't mind using one on him.
He has 3 inspiration.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think Harry would be okay with me using inspiration. This is a pretty important role. No, it's not meant to be. Though it lances through the doorway, hitting the wall, and kind of just races along it for a while, and then magic.
You missed Renard.
I know that, and he stays, and he starts to step back, again, chanting again. Let me mark off that spell for this guy. Yeah, I love it. You missed. Tell me something I don't already know.
I am very disappointed in you.
Yeah, love it. And let me see. Now we're back to the top of the order. You do not, like I say, see him healing.
Was that Renard's turn?
No, he had a held action.
Yeah, he was holding it.
Yeah. So Doru, being a practical vampire, sees that the Goliath has already made it easy for him just to. He's going to stay grappled by you. But try to, again, he likes your eyes, Vernick. You got beautiful eyes.
Thanks.
And he actually is going to try to rip them from your skull. 22. So you take 3 slashing damage as he rakes these vile fingers across your face. And then he tries to bite you. This is where the good roll is going to come in.
Wait, can he slash me if I'm covering around him with my arms?
Yeah, he's not. He would be if he was restrained, he would attack at disadvantage. But you only have him grappled.
Yeah, grappling. All grappling does is stop your movement.
But you are able to wiggle him around enough that he can't. He's biting at you, and you're like, maybe even use your axe at one point to buffet him in the face.
Nice.
And it's Renard's turn. Renard. Not being a total fool, moves back, having learned from earlier combats, and he again unleashes this magic. He chants again, because he's got to make his Papa Talos happy.
He needs to do something because he's failing miserably right now.
And again with the witch bolt. And it hits, and this electricity lances and rides across Doru for 11 points of damage. Nice.
And now it's like arcing between Renard and the vampire.
Yeah.
Gearnock's like, what the hell? There's electricity going all over the place.
Perfect. That was Callista. You're up now.
Okay, well, seeing that the vampire is grappled and taking some damage, she's going to gather up her little shreds of courage and come over here and shoot at it with her bow. Well, where are you? And does that hit?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so then I get my 1d6 added onto that too. Oh, I got a 6. That's a total of 11 points.
Okay. Yeah. Don't total it because there's damage reduction at play here. So.
Oh, okay.
Though I actually don't. I don't think it'd matter with this. Because so 6 is. Oh my gosh. You ever know the answer and it's so simple, but you still like lock up and you're like, that's the moment I just had. All right, well done, Callista.
That never happens to me.
George, so there's this moment as your spirit leaves your body. It's almost like that out-of-body experience where, George, you're standing above George and you're looking down at yourself. And
Yes, it doesn't rot with my body.
What'd you say? What?
Remember earlier? I said something about they were asked if the soul went up with the body. I mean, if the soul went up with the body. And I said no, they both rot in the ground.
I guess I was.
So now he's like, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
that's
call back to games before.
Right. So you look down for a moment at what was once your mortal form, and you feel that pull, that desire to pass on to that plane, where it's probably like this hunting ground, in the sky or whatever. What's it called, John? You must know this. What is the name of the plane where they hunt? The eternal hunt is. I can't remember what that plane is called.
I can't remember.
But anyways,
I want to say Gehenna, but I think that's the bad place.
Yeah. So anyways, fill in the blank. That is where, George, you wish to go. You feel it's only a second later, and you're out of the cellar. You're hanging in this the sky. You see the battle still being fought by your companions, and you find yourself drifting away. And then you find yourself surrounded by mist. And then you stop. Moments pass. You feel resistance. It's though you have substance. And this mist is pulling against you. You cannot pass through this mist. You are trapped eternally. Your soul. You will never reach that peace. And as that realization comes to you slowly, George, you look and you see the spirits and souls of others who have died in Barovia. Veranak, it's your turn. You're grappling this vampire. Poor George, by the way. Poor George.
Yeah, poor George.
Poor George.
Now, does restraining him stop his movement?
Yeah, as long as he does not break the grapple, his movement
I'm
is
going
0.
to restrain him then.
Do you wait? I think you need a special.
No.
I think you need a special ability to restrain.
Oh.
I think it's like Tavern Brawler can grapple then restrain somebody.
Oh, okay.
I think, and I could be wrong.
Grapple really all it does is make it so that you can stop the guy at 0 movement. And
You're
so
basically holding him with one of your hands so that he can't get
Alright.
away.
Yeah.
is what you're doing.
Then I will continue the grapple, except I will move him a little bit further away from the building. So
Yeah.
like he would be in front of me the whole time.
Like this?
I'd be here.
So as you're moving him, there's this sustaining arc of electricity going from Renard to Doru, and as you start to push him and pull him around, and it comes in this interposition, I guess, of Irina and Zarg. The arc of electricity actually lances up over them, and it's like probably their hair comes up a little bit. As I don't know if that's mechanically how it would work, but that's how I'm going to narrate it. And the arc continues. Or you guys simply you guys could duck as Vernak just drags this lightning across by you guys.
I mean, Irina might. I don't, because I love it.
Oh. Yeah. Perfect.
I mean, if I can get free electricity, hell yeah. And remember, I'm wearing copper all over my armor, man.
Nice. All woven into it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Zarg. Oh wait, Vernak, are you doing anything else? You drag him with the grapple. Oh, that's your action, I guess, sustaining the grapple.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not, right?
I don't
No,
think
he can attack. He can still
You
attack.
can attack. You just
I
can't.
will bite him.
You can't use your axe though. You gonna
I'll
bite him?
bite him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
We'll say that's a strength action. So you use your strength for your attack roll.
No.
Yeah. There's nothing up. He's not having any of it.
I did better with the shovels.
As you go to try to bite him, you realize, wait a second, he's trying to bite me. So you're like, whoa, not a good idea. And Zarg, you are up.
Let's see. Okay, so Doru's on there. Okay, so he's within range. I actually just turn once again, looking over at the brother on the ground. I say, actually, I don't even say anything to him. I just tell it, and I just hold my hand out, and I just yell out to Talos, calling out, "The lightning! Talos shall destroy you, creature!
Nice.
If not, Zarg will do it." And then I fire off a guiding bolt. 20 for 11 radiant.
Nice. Again, much like before, it just laces across this thing and burning into its flesh. What you would have noticed, Zarg and the others, is when you bring this divine energy across him, he does not seem to heal like he was before. Yeah, and he just he seems to be lost in this blood frenzy, having feasted upon George and now hoping to feast upon Vernak, and he stays where he is, and he's yelling to the sky, and when his eyes see his father there, he goes, as he's laughing, he's like, "Thank you, Father, for bringing me something to eat." And that's just before he's going to bite you, Vernak. A 10,
Nope.
but he misses. And then he tries to finish the job and take your eyeballs out. 25.
Yep.
For 3 more slashing. And Renard is going to sustain his witch bolt, so he's going to do lightning damage. 8 more damage. Yeah, it just rips across, and you just see it. Oh, the lightning, as it's lancing across, just opens up his shirt, and his flesh across his ribs opens up, and you can see the inside, and it just starts to light up inside his ribs. It takes 8 damage. Perfect. And Callista.
Yes, Kalisa's definitely somewhat heartened by this, seeing this thing actually take damage. She's going to And up to about here. Let's see, that's 15 feet. She's going to shoot her bow at him.
Oof, nice.
Obviously, oh yeah, she gets her.
Carol has the serious hacks going on her attack rolls. I don't think she's rolled below
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I don't think she's rolled below the 20 this
I
whole
missed
fight.
one. Twice.
She
Oh,
put a
that's right.
couple
She did miss.
11.
She did miss. Yeah.
So that's 11 points of damage, and then she's going to continue up here and take cover underneath the tree and behind that wall.
So
four piercing.
Yeah.
And one.
I know her 11. It
Stop.
gets cut
Stop
down.
with that, Carol.
11.
Stop with that.
With what?
Let me see. George
In fact,
is.
she can take a bonus action and hide once she gets up under that tree. That's a
yeah.
skill.
Vernak, your turn.
Lionel? Oh well.
What? Yeah, you're hiding, right?
Yeah, you can hide, but you have that. Is it second level? You get that ability where you can.
Well, this is my last round of rage.
Good.
Make good use of it, buddy.
Yeah, killed it.
Yeah, Doru is definitely starting to show the wear of the combat now that Zarg has started to bring this divine.
Don't want to let go.
Yeah. Now it seems to be working, Vernak, because you're holding him in place while Renard and Zarg bring their magics upon.
I'm going to attempt to bite him again.
And I think Irina and
best thing I can do for damage.
they
right
fleet
now.
over there. They run over there, and Father Donovic goes here.
Nope.
Yeah, so you're probably more focused on just not letting him get free of you, because he is starting to pull and tug away from you. And Zarg, your turn.
Oh, Viadak, my friend. I feel like you may not survive. Shit, dude.
Vernak looks weird and tired right now.
I'm gonna run back towards Renard.
Yeah.
And seeing Darnak as hurt as he is, I yell, Continue holding him, Darnak. You are doing great, my friend. Talos is with you. And I will use a bonus action to cast a healing word on him.
Oh, yes.
It's not going to be a lot, but it'll be something at least. 5. So I heal you as lightning courses across your body and your body tenses up from the healing.
Yeah, sealing up some of those wounds.
Then as I get to Renard, I'm going to put my hands on him, and you can tell me if this is going to work. I'm going to try it regardless, DM, but this is what I want to do. I want to grab him, and I want to channel divinity, but I want to put my destructive wrath into Renard. And destructive wrath lets me do maximum electrical damage when I do a damage attack. I'm not attacking, but maybe this might work where it'll channel into him.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Feel the power, Renard. Talos is with you, brother.
Yeah, let's move you like right there, so you're really close.
Yeah, and then I'll use my channel.
Yeah.
You want me to use like an inspiration too?
No.
Okay.
No, but what I was saying is, so there's like this kind of this, there's like a sputtering of his witch bolt, and then then it flares back up, almost white hot lightning, and Doru is definitely looking worse for wear, but he seems to be lost in this frenzy. He wants to kill this and feast upon you all. So he tries to claw you. 22 for 8 slashing.
To me?
Yeah, that's full damage, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
And then as his fingers rip into you, he uses his strength and he just draws his face close to you. And this is a big roll. 19.
That does hit.
And you feel the fangs puncture into your neck, and he starts feasting, and you hear this ripping. Yeah, you hear this ripping sound. Everybody else, and as he pulls his head back, you see bits of Vernak's throat dangling from his mouth, and he just howls and Vernak drops, and he is going to get back 7.
I put a little skull next to my thing, so
He turns and smiles bloodily at his father, says nothing, but then turns because his lightning is still arcing across his body, and he smiles at Renard and he says, "You are next," and he gets up and starts running towards
7
Renard.
for my hit
Time
point
for the
maximum.
TPK.
And Renard, panicked, is starting to shuffle back, but not before he. So how does this work? I do the D12. Let's do the D12.
No, you don't. You don't. Well, yeah. I guess you're gonna see if you hit.
No. He has a sustained witch bolt.
It just does max damage. It just your damage.
Oh,
becomes
so it's gonna.
maximum.
Well,
as long as it's lightning damage.
Well, there's no problem with that because he's been rolling close to max every time. So he's
Well-
gonna do 12 damage to Doru. Okay, so that'd be nice. Yeah, Doru is definitely looking very. He's just burned and seared all over. Much of his clothing has fallen away. Tattered trousers are the only thing that remain, but his feet are bare.
It's a bonus action to maintain it, right?
That's just concentration.
Oh, it's just concentration.
Yeah.
So he can actually technically disengage still and run the hell away.
Well, no, he uses his action to cause
okay,
the
it is your
damage,
action.
but
Okay, it's
concentration to keep it.
Gotcha. Goodbye, Renard. It was nice knowing you, my friend.
Yeah. Kalista, you're up.
Okay, she's going to
Kalista.
step out and she's going to shoot her bow again. And let me
Nice.
see, gets her damage.
Roll high. Roll high.
She didn't roll that high, but you know.
3
Look what she
damage.
did.
3 damage. Yay!
Yeah, your arrow into Doru's back. But like your other arrows, he pays it no mind.
I feel like he's pincushioned with arrows.
He is, yeah.
She's
Yeah.
gonna run back and hide again.
Yeah.
So Vernak, much like George down in that dark basement, you find yourself leaving your mortal body, and as you drift away, looking down, you enter the mist.
No death saves?
You are dead.
Okay.
And you find yourself trapped in this mist, and you see a wandering and confused George. And you see there's maybe a look. What'd you say?
Where did it go, George?
Yeah. And and I think we'll leave off you as you're slowly approaching the spirit of George. And Zarg, you're up.
Zarg,
Oh my God, Renard.
it's time to take him out.
I am sorry, Renard. You are a good person, but it's over for you. I draw my warhammer back and I swing it forward, smashing it into the creature.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna use initiative. I mean, initiative. I'm gonna roll for initiative.
Yes.
Again.
Good luck.
He could fight twice in a turn.
24
There we
for
go.
4 blunt.
No, we're gonna use your first damage. What was it? The 8?
Oh, 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
so 4 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, you slam it up against his head, and he slowly turns this macabre visage towards you, and he leaps at you, Zarg.
Awesome. As I turn around, because I'm not even really looking at him, I just yelled to Ismark. I say, "Run, flee! Get that arena to safety."
You look, and they're actually already starting to move away.
I'm hoping they were.
He claws out at you for 8 slashing damage, and as he's slashing at you, he tries to get his teeth into you. 17.
17's a miss, but when he hits me, lightning bursts out of my stomach and hits him in the face.
Perfect. Now, quick question. That divine thing that you used, that you gave to Renard, does that make the damage he did divine, or does it still stay lightning?
No, No, it's lightning.
Okay.
Yeah. It just maximizes any lightning attack.
So you would see flesh starting to heal slowly on Doru. So we'll add that little effect. But
So when he hits me, I will where is it? Wrath of Storm. So he has to make a DC 13.
Which ability?
Dexterity save. Yep.
Okay. No.
All right. So he takes 5 points of lightning damage when he hits me.
Okay.
Nice. And I kind of twist my body, letting the
so lightning kind of just
armor.
lances its way up its arms from your copper coiled armor. Nice. Renard, there's a faltering of this magic that he has as he disengages and begins to run. Yeah. She runs off this way. Adjust the map a bit. And these guys are already, we're going to say that they're starting to run down. So they're actually a lot further than they look. And Callista.
Okay, Callista will step out. She will shoot her bow again. Oh, where are you? And I am keeping track of arrows, by the way. I'm going to use inspiration on that. Which didn't help anything.
I think that's what happened to you last time too, right? You use inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work for you.
She's just gonna go back here and hide again.
These arrows fly as his head spins as he sees Renard running, and he says, "No, no, no! It's not polite to run away." Let me see. I'm gonna take George and Viernak off of that. So George and Viernak, is there like a little scene that you would like to play out as your souls are reunited, trapped within the mist of Barovia?
They high five.
Yeah. Hey, we're not dead! Their hands go through each other. And if not, we'll just move on to...
Move on.
All right, Callista.
Nobody listening to what's happening.
Oh, wait, no, you just went.
I just went.
All right.
Doru is yelling something at Renard. And
do you want me to roll initiative just so you have something to manipulate?
No,
I'm not in the order. Like.
Yeah, where are you? There you are. You're there.
He's not in our order.
Yeah, I've never rolled, so I don't know how you put me in, buddy.
Oh my gosh, have I been using your initiative from the last time?
I guess, yeah.
Oh, here you are thinking I'm just really good at always knowing when to say, and Zarg, what are you doing?
I just assumed you decided I was between whoever those two.
Oh, I apologize. If we weren't so freaking balls deep into this
it's
encounter,
fine.
I would have.
It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal.
All right. Apologies.
All right. As long as you have a tracking, that's fine. That's all.
Right. So
Hey man, who is it?
So wait a second. So Doru went. Renard just ran. Callista, it is you, right? No, you just fired your arrows and missed.
Zarg. It's Doru's turn.
Zarg, it is your turn.
All right. So Zarg will go to here, and you go. You will not move, beast. And I will. Shit. Wait. Get rid of regeneration or kind of thing. I will. Okay, so I pull out. Yeah, I unstopper one of my holy waters and I splash him with it.
Ooh, nice.
I don't know what the damage is for that, but
I would say 1d6.
You want me to roll the hit, or you want to just give it to him, or I don't know how that.
No, you can give me a 2-hit, like you would a melee.
Gotcha.
Splashing him with it.
Shit, I gotta remember how to do this roll. I'm assuming no proficiency in flask throwing.
Yeah, no, but it is enough to hit him, though.
All right, so I hit him. And then what do you want to do for damage for that?
D6.
And that is holy, right?
Yeah.
6 points of holy damage.
It burns, and he just recoils back from you as you... it burns into his flesh. Nice. You see that his flesh is not healing like it should. Give me an attack of opportunity if you'd so choose, Zarg, as he starts to move away from you.
He's running away from me. God damn it. Stop, I say. I need Sentinel.
Yeah.
23 for 11 blunt.
Yeah. Okay, good. So that would be... Yeah, you hear a crack of bone as you split his skull. The scalp breaks open, revealing the pulpy gray matter within. And he runs to his father and he falls near him and he says, "Father, don't let him kill me. Tell me what I need to do." And his father is just horror stricken, kind of like back, like wheeling back, kicking away with his feet on his bottom. "Get away from me, you abomination!" his father yells. And that will be Doru's turn. Renard, I think, would fire a... I'm reskinning as a lightning bolt at him. And it misses wide. And he's... "Don't worry, I will protect Irina and..."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could use it. I don't want to burn all of his inspiration. He's got 2 left.
I'll give him one of mine, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd give him one.
Okay.
I'll use one of mine.
Oh, 20.
There
Nice.
we go.
There it is.
I mean, it's only
This
one
lightning
line.
lances across him. Doru's back arches in true pain. And
Talos is with you, Renard.
Callista.
All right. Khalees could shoot from hiding at this point, right? Because she can see him.
Did you give me a stealth roll?
Well, I was doing the hiding from the rogue thing every time.
Well, I mean, you get
But you got to mechanically you have to hide.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll do the stealth roll then, to see if I was hidden.
Yeah.
That's up to you whether that's passive
Well,
or not.
yeah. It's oftentimes he's not looking for you, so it's against his passive perception whether he would see you or not.
Okay. So did he?
You do not have advantage on this attack.
Okay. Cool. Nonetheless, I am going to shoot.
Yes.
And Kelly.
Come on, Kelly. Oh, I am definitely using inspiration.
Come on, Kelly.
I have effectively have eaten up all of Carol's inspiration, I believe.
Nah, I'm down to 1 after this. I had
left.
3.
I
and
also have
picked
one
up.
left.
Oh, okay.
Used a couple, picked one up, sort of thing.
Zarg.
12
These
is-
arrows fly wide. You see like a panic look from Renard as the arrow flies awfully close to him as he's firing his lightning.
But she is going to disappear farther back into the brush.
Yeah. You can give me another stealth if you play
Okay.
hiding. Yeah.
Are dead
Zarg.
people allowed to give their own inspiration out?
That'd be great if you could, man.
Okay.
But I think that's cheating if you give me all your inspiration.
No, just really quickly. So you Charlie and Brian, your inspiration will transfer over to your new character.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why, even though I knew George was gonna die, I gave him inspiration because I knew that it was gonna transfer over.
Nice.
Cool.
So
better take my inspiration.
Zarg,
Yeah, so I charge over, jumping in front of Renard, because that's what I do.
yeah,
And I yell, "We got him, Renard! Talos is with us today!" And I will hit him with my last holy water, since I think I just need to keep him from shit.
regenerating.
For regenerating.
Yeah, I just don't want him to regenerate, so, right, that's the only thing that's keeping him from doing that, I think, which is my last one, which is not great for when we fight Strahd, but that's fine, whatever. I mean, we came here to get holy water. At least that's why Zar came.
Oh, that's right. That's why you were going to the church.
That's why I
You could
came
get the
here.
holy water. Yeah.
The holy water, yeah.
Roll 20 plus 3.
Yeah.
22.
You hit.
Yes.
So.
5.
Oh, jeez. You splash the better portion of this flask upon him as he's kind of pleading with his father, and Father Donovic is just horror stricken. And as
Did
his
I add my strength bonus?
no, I throw that water really hard.
So it hurts more.
But as the water spreads across him, he wails in agony and seems to just melt away. Still until like it's like he just like slowly like a bad '80s special effects movie where like kind of the flesh like Indiana Jones,
Wizard of Oz.
Yes. No, not that quite that bad. That was like 1930s. But like it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark when they open the Ark and the guy's faces melt down. That's what kind of happens to Doru right now as this holy water reduces him to nothing but just bone. The teeth kind of just like fall off from the jaw. Doru melts away, leaving just a husk of what he once was. Donovic, Father Donovic, is just beside himself, looking at what is or was once his son, now destroyed by these adventurers. He doesn't even look up at you. Just snot is running from his nose, and tears flow freely. He like tentatively reaches out like as to touch the bones, and then he brings his hand back and touches and clutches at the hanging symbol of the Morning Lord. This is we're out of initiative, so the remainders of you.
Zarg just reaches down and picks the brother off the ground. And I'm going to continue with the brother Donovich. So, and once I get him up into the air, I don't know. Zarg has a 16 strength, so he's pretty strong.
Yeah.
This is your fault. You created this whole incident. That was not your son. It was a husk of a creature. You say that you are a holy man. You know this. Why? It is not your son. It never was when it came back.
And then if he doesn't say anything, I'll just turn and kind of point him towards my dead friend Vernak, since he's the only one I can't see. I can't see George.
There. He is dead. And I'm assuming our other friend is dead. And then my other friend's brother is dead. 3 lives have been taken from us because of you.
Yeah. So you wouldn't necessarily know George's fate at this time.
I'm assuming.
But you're assuming because Doru came
And I'm
out.
assuming Pilford's dead. That's why I said.
Yes, okay. I was wondering who that third one was. But...
Oh, no. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Zarg is not stupid.
Yeah, he looks up at you, his eyes bloodshot and brimming with tears. And you can see this wealth of emotion, passing across this priest's face. Maybe a little bit of relief that his son has truly been put to rest. But the other piece being his son has been put to rest. So you feel as though whatever you are saying right now just falls upon deaf ears. You feel a firm hand on your shoulder, Zarg, not threatening in any way or whatnot. You hear the sound of Ismark at your side. He says, "Let him be. Let him drown in his sorrow. We have more important things to do."
God bless you.
We have
Talos be praised.
Yes, yeah. Palos be. You have a mute button. George just doesn't want us to forget that he's still here.
Yeah. George is behind him sneezing and goes for him. Let you.
And then he looks over to where Vernak's still body lies, and he says, "We must see to your friends. They have more pressing matters."
We do have pressing matters.
And he seems to be very practical in this. I guess living in Barovia long enough, you get this. Zarg would probably appreciate this, or actually probably give value to this. Probably the best thing, the most sane thing that Ismark has said. He says, "And we must get my sister to safety."
Yes. These are things that must be done. And I kind of shake the priest.
I'm like, but this one needs to step up and do something. This is his church. He needs to give us what we need. We need holy water. We need the last rites done on these men. These are things that have to be done. We do not need his blubbering.
Yeah.
I do not have time for this. Renard and Callie, he actually says Callie, and I have things to do. We have people to see.
He nods. He says, Father Donovic, you will do this. And he just weakly nods his head. He says, we must see to the dead first before they rise themselves.
I let him go. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
That's
You let him go. He walks over to where Vernak has fallen. He tries to pick up this great axe that the Goliath would wield, but he's too weak to do so. Ismark comes up and takes it from him, and he then proceeds to cut the head clean of its shoulders of Vernak. He throws the axe to you, Zarg. He says, go, see to the other. If he is taken by by the beast, take his head from his shoulders.
Zarg sort of eyes him for a second, like, you motherfucker, you're telling me what to do?
Yeah. He misses that because he then turns down and he takes goes to the grim task of like picking up the head, and setting it on the body.
But I look over at Callie as I'm walking. I got the axe. I'm like, Callie, perhaps you will search them to find out what they have. That is something I know you are good with.
Burn. Yeah. So
no, but he wasn't. That was less of a burn.
I think that's good. I think so, Callie. If you kind of pat down Vernak, I think off camera we will discuss what George and Vernak have and what you guys want to take of their items. And
Callie's kind of watching to see if Zark's going to actually go in the temple. He said he wouldn't go in.
No. Oh, that's right. Shit. I'm sorry, John.
He wouldn't go in.
Listen, John. I did not do that on purpose.
No, it's fine. I know.
Callie's going to look at Zarg and she says, I know you don't want to go in there. Give me the axe. I can take care of.
Can you really, Callista? What is your strength again?
10.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I stop and I look at Callie. Then I look over at Renard. I think, Renard, help Callista. Go down there and bring his body up here to be decapitated in the light.
Renard gives you this looks like what?
Do it for Renard.
Callista rolls her eyes.
Talos needs this done.
Ismark says, I will go with you. And yeah, between the three of you, you're able to retrieve George and his effects and drag him up. It's probably like, if not for how dire the situation was, you lost 2 of your party members, it would almost be comical as you guys are all trying to move this really large guy up those stairs, and you get him out. You would also be able to procure some vials of holy water from Father Donovic. Just give me a 2d6 roll.
Now, would we all be able to get vials of holy water?
This is going to be the total. How you then decide to share them amongst.
Up before they behead.
Yes. Yeah. As the 3 of them grab you, like Ismark is at your shoulders. Callie and Renard are each at one of your legs. All of a sudden, your eyes pop open. No, it's not that fast, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sadly.
Vampire.
So we chop his head off.
Yeah. If not for the fact that Zarg is well versed in the lore of vampire, and Renard as well, they know that they have to deal with you, or else you will rise as a vampire, and they definitely do not want George and Vernak vampires running around, raising some hell, looking for them, saying, "You let us die."
That would be horrible.
Hey,
But-
Vampires. Whoa.
Yeah. I'll hand Callie 3 of the healing potions. We got 7. Was that the total we have?
Yes, that's total amongst you.
Those are holy waters, right?
Yeah, holy water.
I will replace the other 4 that I used earlier.
Perfect. So you're able to do that. We'll do all the other
the
mundane
minute.
crap off camera. So you get the bodies off, and you spend the better part of the rest of the morning and into the afternoon laying them to rest. Father Donovic tearfully puts the bones of his son to rest as well.
All but the teeth.
Oh, did you take those?
I took the 2 canines.
I did miss that, but yes, add that to your inventory. That's lovely.
I have 2 vampire teeth. Should I put his name? Yeah, I'll put his name.
Yeah.
Doru's teeth.
I love it.
Well, fortunately, George isn't taking ears.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take an ear just for George's sake. One for our homie.
So what I envision, and we're just gonna move things forward a little bit here, and you guys can add anything. So what I envision is you go with Irina and Ismark back to their mansion. Preparations are made, bags are packed, and what would probably happen is you would hunker down. You know something? So it's mid-afternoon. It's fall. So light, you don't have as much light during the day, but Ismark is certain that you can make it to the
Vistani camp?
The Vistani camp where Madame Eva is before nightfall. So you would make quick preparations in town. You would see Ismark. He talks with one of the elder villagers of Barovia, most likely giving them orders to be in charge, and someone he can trust, and obviously tell no one where we go. And you slip out of the village